All right. I think we're live. We are live. We're live. We're live. We're live. We're live. We're live. Good evening or good night, good morning, depending on where you are in the world. I know there's a few of you that are on like the other side of the world, which is dope that you guys are here. So good morning to you guys, I guess. It'd be morning time, right? Pretty excited about today's live stream. I am very excited about today's live stream. We got a couple guys that are going to jump in here in a second, and we're going to talk about some brand new stuff that hopefully you guys will dig. I know it's kind of a different topic, but I'm all in it. So, and then we just had some recent stuff pop up here within like the last hour for me about PSA. So we're going to jump into that, and then we're going to talk a little bit of PSA and SGC and all that good stuff. So without further ado, good evening, gentlemen.
Hey, how you doing?
What's going on? Marvelous, can
How's
you hear
your
me
Sunday
okay?
going, bro?
Good.
Can you hear me good? Everything good on your end? No echo?
I got audio. I'm good. Good. Madness, can you hear me okay?
Yep, I can hear you.
All right. We got full audio, full video, everything looking great. And my man Peter's coming in hot out the gates and wants me to eat the gum.
Oh my God, the gum.
Oh geez, you gotta eat the gum now, dude.
Gotta eat the gum now. See, I was not expecting. I was hoping like we could like roll into this, right?
Yeah.
Could it be like Pokemon Oreos? Like they grade those. Maybe
I saw that. Yeah. No, unfortunately,
grade anything.
You know what? I didn't. Hold on. I'm gonna hold on.
I'm gonna get my camera a little fixed. This is live TV.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, it's right here. Look. So, all right. God, this is gonna suck. Oh, this is gonna suck so bad. So this is 1989.
Oh,
Bowman.
look at that.
I ripped it out of a wax box. So this is man, you guys are on it with this gum. Everybody's all in about the gum.
Is my breath
Jesus,
good?
Man, I
Can
should
they
have
smell
never
it from
done
here?
No. So okay, so I don't know if you guys know. So I did a video the other day where there's a company called myjunkwax.com. They do like these little monthly subscription boxes that you can buy, and every month they have a certain chase that you're doing, right? So this month it was Shaquille O'Neal rookie cards, so I bought a box. But every box comes with, a handful of these like junk wax cards. And so on the video, because I typically get no viewership on those videos, right? Because they're just, pack openings. Nobody's really hot about that. I'm not saying
don't
anything.
Spoil it. You might have found a lot of rookies.
Well, but hold on. So the thing is that at the end of it, I was like, if you've watched the video this far, like on my next live stream, if you mention it, like I'll eat this gum, I'm thinking nobody was watching it, or very few people, or at least made it all the way to the end. But I got to eat this gum now, so this is great. Look, my man Peter, all the way.
I sure hope you don't have to go to the hospital. I don't want that.
I mean, doesn't smell bad. It's not. It's that. I don't know if you guys heard that, but that is.
You gonna go for it?
I'm gonna go for it.
Look at his face. Oh, this is great.
Oh,
stale gum. Dude. Spit it out.
Oh, that is terrible.
Do you have water?
Oh, I did not.
We got to get you something to rinse your mouth out.
I did not plan this out very well. Now it's stuck in my teeth. Shit.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah.
Okay, I do not. I do not
I
recommend
can
people
only
doing that.
imagine your chat by now. I can
my
only
God, dude.
imagine it.
I do not. Wow.
I'm gonna get some water for you. I'm all grossed out.
Oh man. Oh, that is so bad. All right.
Sorry,
Listen.
sorry, man.
I'm a man of my word, guys. Oh my God, that is terrible. That's too late, T. I already ate it. Oh my God.
So, a funny story.
Oh my God, that is so
He
bad.
tried to warn you, don't eat the gum. He tried to warn you.
Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna let you guys go ahead and give just a quick intro. Madness, we'll start with you. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but I kind of jumped into this, and I'm talking to the people on the chat here on the live. So I've been jumping into kind of like this realm of Marvel cards. I know nothing about it. I had a binder full of cards from years ago, 30 years ago or 20 years ago, and I started kind of just jumping into it, and a few folks, I guess you guys kind of crossed over into my channel with a lot of the SGC talk and stuff like that. And I think that's kind of how you guys kind of got wind of my channel and some of the content that I was producing around SGC. And then we kind of connected on Instagram on a couple of things. You guys were reaching out to me regarding the SGC stuff. And then I saw that you guys were like super heavy into Marvel and was like, holy crap, like this is perfect timing because I have this massive box of Marvel cards that I feel are in relatively decent condition. And I wanted basically like a crash course. And so you guys, I think we got all together last week, kind of chatted for a little bit and showed you guys a little bit of what I had. And we planned to do this, this live stream tonight. So for people who don't know you guys, this would be, and I wanted to kind of give each of you a few minutes to kind of talk about who you are, what you do, where's your Instagram, how people can reach you, and then that way we can all be properly introduced to the folks on the chat, and then we can kind of kick off the conversation. So Marvel Madness, we'll start with you, and I'm gonna run and go grab a soda because this is terrible. So I'll leave.
For sure.
I'll leave the live stream in the capable hands of these two gentlemen, and I'm gonna go wash my mouth out with chlorine. I'll be right back.
You're good. You're good. Just to kind of add to retro, I opened a pack, a wax pack, 1986 He-Man. Okay, we're big into non-sport stuff, and it had gum in it. And I was not as brave as retro just was. So there was no way on God's green earth I was gonna eat that gum. And yeah,
How old of gum we talking?
This was 1986 wax packs from He-Man. So
You beat retro by 3 years.
it was about 3 more years. So hey guys, Marvel Madness. I do have a YouTube channel. If you want to subscribe or just go check it out, that's fine. Right now it's going live right now, just on Retro's channel here. And what I do on my channel is talk Marvel trading cards. Anything to do with Marvel trading cards, whether it's a PMG or whether it's 1990 Marvel Universe. That's what I do. And I do a lot of box breaks. And I just have fun with this hobby. That's where it's at. And I'm excited to interjoin with the sports world here. And keep making the hobby better.
For sure, man. And I'm Marvelous Packs, and you can find me as that on YouTube. I actually got into the hobby as a kid in the 90s. It's a nostalgia thing. And now that I'm like a grown adult, quote unquote, I can actually afford to buy some of these older cards. So you can find me as Marvelous Packs or Instagram at Marvelous_Packs. I've been getting back into this the last year and a half, and I've really enjoyed it. And Josh is actually one of the first channels, Marvel Madness MCU, and you can find him on that on Instagram. He's one of the first channels I found when I got back into the hobby. Him and Spidey Jew, and a few others. So yeah, it's really cool and a lot of fun to watch different product get open, so you can get an idea of what kind of art you like. And yeah, I love collecting the X-Men, so you'll see a lot of X-Men cards on my page. And yeah, man, thanks Omar for bringing us. I appreciate you, bro, because
Yep.
this is an awesome opportunity to be able to share what we're passionate about. And we also, as you can tell, I sub with SGC, and I think the cards present beautifully with the slabs.
Yeah.
So yeah, take it away, bro. Like, because you got the chat on deck, and I love your style
I do.
in
Yeah.
your lives. And I bet we got the game on too.
I'm very glad to be here. Wanted to say hi to a Doom Card, so he's on. So Doom Card's one of our guys on Instagram.
What up, Doom?
I got a spammer that was wanting to show naked ladies to satisfy your wishes online. So that's cool.
Oh no.
That's how you know you made it, baby, when you get them spammers coming in.
Hell yeah.
So we'll catch up with a few folks here that are jumping in. So we got Hobby Beast in the house. What's going on? Juice Man is in the house. What's up, guys? Motley's in the house. Do I have a P.O. box? I don't have a P.O. box, Motley, but shoot me a DM on Instagram, bro. And
Retro, you got to get a P.O. box, bro.
I know,
no
bro. I know. I just I don't think I've ever really anticipated like folks like wanting to give me stuff. You know what I mean? Because like it's that's not what you know what I mean. Like what I don't know.
Well, not just to give you, but you trade. It's trading cards. You know?
So I'll talk to you guys offline about the trading card thing piece because I got there's some stuff in the works there. But yeah, so I'm a terrible. I love giving gifts. I'm a big gift giver, but I cringe when people give me gifts. I don't know how to, like, I don't know how to do the whole thanks, you know. But yeah, so I have had some people reach out to me and say, hey man, I love your channel, I love what you're doing, I love what you collect. I got a bunch of this stuff I want to send to you, you know. And so we'll do some stuff there. But yeah, Motley, hit me up on Instagram or just check any of my videos, bro. I got all my contact info there. Just reach out and we'll get
a P.O. box.
Yeah, I do need to get a P.O. box. I do. The white powder on the gum is the best. That was terrible, man. I'm telling you, I have. Yeah, that.
My baby came to see.
I wonder what that white powder was that they sprinkled on there, because.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't have your chaser with you, man. And just,
yeah, I really didn't. It was terribly managed, the timing of all of that. But I just didn't think people were gonna come out the gates like that.
Yeah, I think he threw you off, man.
He did. He really did. I was like, oh crap, we're doing this now. Like we're doing this now. So TGT is in the house. Billy Ocean's in the house. Pittsburgh is in the house. Man, Pittsburgh.
What up, Pittsburgh?
This weekend. What up, Pittsburgh?
What's up?
Doom Card.
Yeah, dude.
I can imagine what he collects.
Badass Doom cards. Badass Doom cards.
Hobby Beast is in the house. What's up, guys? Marvel Guy 239. Can't wait for Marvel Metal Spider-Man.
Oh, retro. You're getting in the you're in the rabbit hole now.
I don't want to do this.
You're doing it,
guys. I don't want to do this.
Well, it's happening, man. It's gonna come out in like right around the movie release, so it's a lot of speculation and a lot of the box prices have already gone up. Really scary.
Nice.
Yeah, a lot of hype.
All right, so E-Love's in the house. Mason Berry in the house. Tally is in the house. What's up, Tally? And Bishop. Bishop was actually the first one in. So congratulations to Bishop.
Can I try and say his name?
Yeah, go ahead.
Talitiga Ulufale.
See, I said that on one of the other live streams, and he's like spot on. So I hope I got it okay.
Yeah,
I think the fact that I speak Spanish and you guys speak Spanish, it helps with the vowels. Yeah, he'll let us know.
That Hawaiian alphabet, they don't have that many letters.
Yeah.
I wish I spoke Spanish.
You don't speak, I thought you did.
You're good. I may look it, but no, I don't.
He probably looks like he should speak it more than me.
What's funny is I was born in Hawaii, and that has nothing to do with what I look like, but I always like
Interesting.
say I'm Hawaiian or something like that. I was born in Hawaii, so technically, yeah, I am
I get it.
Hawaiian that way.
I get it all the time. I think I've told this story on here before in one of the videos before. I used to, in one of my previous job roles, I used to do a lot of traveling, like a lot of international traveling. So when I would land back here in Texas, like going into an international arrival port, they'd take one look at my passport and they'd go, okay, this is weird. This guy's name is Omar and he has a Mexican passport and he has a heavy Southern Texas accent. And at the time I had a beard that was like out to here. And so they'd take one look at me and occasionally the customs agent would just go, you know what? I don't have time for this shit. And they just stamp it and go here. Like,
I have no idea. Like Rockets jacket.
Yeah, they go just like, I have no idea who this guy is and what he's here to do, but I don't have the mental capacity to deal with this right now. So welcome home, sir. Here you go. And just come on in. And it was like, Jesus, man. But I get it all, man. I've gotten Italian, I've gotten Middle Eastern, I've gotten European, I've gotten, oh man, you name it, I've gotten it. And once I tell people that I'm Mexican, they're like how? Like how is that?
Do you ever get like specific actors like Jeff Bridges or someone else?
Yeah, I've gotten everything, man. And then once you walk them through a little bit of a history lesson of kind of the genealogy of Mexico, people then go, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Once you remember that the Portuguese came and the Portuguese came through, the Europeans came through, and occasionally they saw some Indians and they were like, oh, hey, you look pretty good and let's have some babies. And then all of a sudden people remember, oh, that's right, there were white men in Mexico at some point. And so it kind of clears up a lot of stuff. But it makes it interesting. Does make it interesting for a good conversation. So Tally says that you are absolutely correct with his pronunciation. Yes. So well done.
Thank you, Tally.
So okay, before we kick this thing off, I do want to go over one little bit. If you guys follow me on Instagram, if you don't, I highly recommend that you do. However,
please do, guys.
I know that you guys are kind of in the same issue, right? That we all are. And this is the whole deal with grading and waiting for your cards. I know, Manus, you have like, what was it, like 20 something cards that you're still waiting on from PSA, or what was your count right now that's in purgatory?
Go, Josh.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I was messaging someone on my chat. Jayhawk Fans on. He's one of our followers that nice. We have. So, I have 55 cards at PSA. And I have 30 cards at Beckett. And I don't want to give this up yet. I'm going to be sending some more, but it'll be a surprise. We'll talk about later.
Yeah. Okay, good. But still, again, some of this stuff tied up. I don't have that many, but the ones that I have tied up are like very close to my heart. And so it hurts me that even though I have 3, they are my prized Hakeem Olajuwon 86 clear rookie cards.
Let me be specific on mine. They're all Marvel. Obviously, if people don't know.
Just in case you had a doubt.
Wait. I am wrong. There is one that's at Beckett, and it's Star Wars. Luke Skywalker.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing a big Star Wars sub because my brother he just opened up a lot of stuff, and prices on Star Wars stuff is starting to go up here with the release of all these new shows that are coming out, and this, basically, Disney coming in and saying, hey, we're all in on Star Wars. And so there's going to be a lot of content coming out. And so he's going to be pretty Star Wars heavy, and he's got a lot of cards that he wants to send. So
that's great.
That's going to be some content coming out pretty soon as well. So, but I'll get to kind of what I wanted to get into, which is recently somebody posted, I think it was, I don't remember exactly where the post was, but it was Nat Turner cards. So Nat Turner _ cards. And this is Nat Turner, the guy who's the CEO of Collectors Universe, who he posts on there from time to time. He posts a lot of really like high end cards because obviously he's Nat Turner. He's a big collector. And so he posts a lot of really high end cards. Well, somebody commented this on his channel and they said, will the website get updated about the backlog? Sorry, update about the thin sleeves for the stickers doesn't really tickle my fancy. And he's talking about one of the updates that came on there. And Nat Turner said the regular opens in 2 weeks. Regular opens in 2 weeks.
Regular and for PSA.
I mean,
so I don't know what that means, right? But this is making like a lot of waves because I follow a lot of big card guys and people are trying to figure out what the hell he's talking about. Because
did he like take a big bong load and decide,
I don't know, but that's what one of the guy that sent this to me originally was like, was he joking? And I go, even if he was, why would you do that? Like, why would you? Why somebody at his level? Like, why would you say that? You know, knowing what everybody's waiting for, knowing the condition of what's going on with, you know, everything that in the hobby and how many people are waiting on PSA and how many people are upset with PSA because they've been waiting for so long. And then for them to come out with something like this, I don't know what this means. Obviously, this isn't like official PSA press release or anything, but this is the freaking CEO of Collectors Universe that owns PSA putting out something like this.
Could someone have hacked his account? I mean, this is crazy. Like,
to
me, it just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense. And that's kind of the hard thing to swallow about all of this because, you know, it is his account from what I understand. It's a pretty good size account where he posts a lot of his cards, and I think it's been confirmed that it is his account. However, I have no idea. And since then, he didn't post anything else. But man, if they're let's just play devil's advocate here and say that they really are going to open the regular service level in 2 weeks. That to me is a huge mistake. It's a huge mistake, and it goes against what was already said in the previous interview that he did on Card Talk, where he was saying, yeah, it's not going to be this year. It may not even be the next few months next year. So
I read somewhere it was second quarter next year. That's
something
why
like that. What they were targeting for originally, right? And for this to come out, it just seems like it's like, oh man, you know,
that would put him in a worse situation. Right?
Yeah.
Like obviously, like an obvious worse situation by doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing about it is that if they're going to open up new slots, let's just say that they do open up in 2 weeks. Well, what's that going to do to their backlog that they have now? Right? Because they're going to want to try to get some of this stuff out as soon as possible because it's big dollar. I guarantee you it's not coming back at $10, but it's big high margin stuff. So they're going to want to try to get in as much of this as they can to make some money. So I don't,
regular for me is like $50. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I'm sure they'll be around that realm. Yeah. I think PSA has a little bit too much pride to go in any lower than what SGC is at right now, which is $30. Because they got to be thinking, well, if
I agree.
SGC is doing $30, then there's no way we can probably do 50 and get away with it. You know, but I don't know what.
It'll be interesting to see. Interesting to see, but yeah, I don't believe it.
I don't believe it either. And the thing about it is this was around noon today that he posted this, so we'll see. I hope they don't, man. I really do because I really don't because I think that's going to completely mess up like everything they got going on right now. But we'll see. Somebody says PSA was in Toronto as well, and they took a buttload of submissions. Well, that's great.
That helps. That helps mine. That helps my current ones right now.
You can say he's pulling a Donald Trump.
Oh, geez.
They're gonna put a cap on it. I hope they do put a cap on it at some point. We'll see what they do there. Okay, so all right, so let's talk some Marvel, guys. I think one of the big things that kind of kicked off my entire conversation with this was the sets that I have, and we kind of went over those last week. The three of us got on a call, and I was just kind of basically showing you guys what I have, and then you guys were kind of walking me through some of the sets and things like that. So, from what I can tell, huh?
Show and tell time.
Yeah, a little show and tell time. So
Yeah.
I think what'll help is you know, I want to kind of talk if you guys could talk a little bit about kind of the progression of the of kind of the Marvel card collecting scene, the sets, right? Some of the earlier sets, much in the way that we have in basketball, the wax sets, and then as we kind of got into the early like junk wax era, and then where we
Sure.
are now in this era of maybe, you know, some people are calling it overproduction, but it's going to be nowhere near where it was in the junk wax era. But in this era now of like really low numbered, low population, you know, really big chase cards, one of ones, things like that. So if you could kind of just walk through like some of those sets, like let's start with like the very first ones. I know that before, you know, Fleer and you know, the masterpiece sets and all that stuff came out, it was Impel, if I'm not mistaken, or did I say that right?
Correct.
Okay, so
Yeah,
talk a little bit about
There was
talk a little bit about
actually
those sets.
Sure. There was actually like sets before Impel that were actually back in Don Russ did one in the 60s. I think it's
Really?
1966. And then there's actually Comic Images sets that came out in the 80s. So you have those that are kind of like true vintage, but they're very few and far between, and they're not easy to find in good condition at all. Like if you found like 6s and 7s, that would be pretty good.
Okay.
Well,
With
and
the night,
some of these Marvelous is mentioning, as he probably would have said, are stickers. Some of them are stickers. The Comic Images were actually cards, but you know how sports cards and all that stuff has stats on the back and all that stuff? That didn't truly happen until the 90s, which with Impel. So that's why the
Correct.
1990 Impel is so looked at as the start of the Marvel cards, and a lot of the rookies, they say, come from that.
Because it's an actual card.
It's because of the stats on the back and all that stuff, with the character and all that stuff. And, you know,
yeah, they would put like fighting abilities. They would
Yeah.
put like stamina, intelligence, strength.
Yeah.
Like, you know, their like ability powers and different things. But yeah, I mean, like you had Todd McFarlane on some of these sets in the 80s, and then in the 90s, when you got to the Impel that we're talking about, the Marvel Universe, you have Jim Lee doing some of the art, and it's taken from comics. We didn't get to the original art sets till Marvel Masterpieces, and that's kind of like the underdog set right now that people really should be focused on. I think more than Impel. That's where you get original artist art on these cards, and by terrific artists. When you start off with the first inaugural set, you have 1992 Masterpieces, which is Joe Jusko, and he does the whole set. So even if you're not a fan of certain artists, you have masterpieces that carry on throughout the 90s and make their way even back after Marvel cards. Marvel went bankrupt in 96 or 97. Around that time, they stopped doing the cards and they lost the licensing, and it went over to Rittenhouse. So Rittenhouse started doing Marvel cards, and they didn't bring Masterpieces back till 2007 when Upper Deck was able to do Marvel cards again. And now it's been Upper Deck until the present.
So Upper Deck is who has the license now currently.
Currently, yeah. So we have like 3 phases. We have the 90s where it's Marvel cards, and they were like, you know, distributed by Marvel and everything. And basically they were promoted in the comics. They would be at LCSs, like local comic shops. They would be at your checkouts. You could buy a couple packs.
Yeah, I remember.
At checkout. You know, it hits that nostalgia core. You could get it at Walmart. You could get it at Target. They had different boxes and different types of rarity inserts. But then when you hit the 2000s, bro, it was like, whoa, man, like it just turned into like really low print and low count. It wasn't mass produced like it was in the 90s anymore. We're talking where boxes are hard numbered.
2001
out of 8,000.
In 2001, there was a Topps set that came out for Marvel Heroes.
I forgot about Topps. Correct.
And that was in 2001. So there have been other companies. Yeah, there have been other companies to hold those. And over the years, just depending on when it was, Marvel has done good or bad, just depending on some of their movies and all that stuff. They've had to sell rights to some of their characters that they've owned throughout the years, just to kind of get out of some holes when they do bad productions and all that stuff. And
Oh
like,
wow.
so like right now, for instance, Silver Surfer's a banned character, Nightcrawler's a banned character. There's banned characters, Fantastic Four, the whole team. And so there's certain characters can't be on cards right now because the rights are owned by another company.
Wow. Okay. So like an individual character.
Yeah. It took a minute for them to get Spider-Man, and Gambit was banned for a bit. So they put all their focus on these characters because if you notice, like the Spider-Verse is going to be like mixed in with the MCU, and that's Sony, and so you had the X-Men with Fox, and Fox was not trying to let go of a lot of characters like Nightcrawler and Gambit, and luckily that's not the case anymore for most of the characters, but that was happening where it was a grudge match. And Disney is huge, so they're getting them one by one, and they're getting their properties back and the franchises.
And just to start, like with Marvel cards, that's kind of how Marvel cards is right now. There are Marvel Legends, which are action figures, the toys and all that stuff, Marvel Legends. Mm-hmm. They actually do have Surfer and the Fantastic Four right now. And so they actually do have some banned stuff that's actually coming out now. So slowly but surely they're getting those characters back, right by right. And so pretty soon we will see them again.
Is that why we've never really seen because I'm a huge Gambit fan. Like that's my guy, right? Gambit. I think Gambit was the big one. Obviously, everybody loved Wolverine. I mean, who didn't walk around with like forks coming out of their hands, when we were kids? But for me, it was always Gambit. I just thought he was dope. And so is that why we've never seen a Gambit movie? Because the rights to Gambit was owned by somebody who just had no desire to do that?
They were going to do it. And they just kept putting a pause on it and the production, and it didn't go through. And I don't know the details, but I remember they were going to do the Gambit film, but Fox still was dangling that for the longest time. And I mean, I don't have all the details on how the MCU works with how they license these characters, but it's crazy. I mean, it's like now Disney's become a monopoly. It's scary because they have Marvel. Like pretty much they're bringing in the mutants, so it's gonna happen. We're gonna get the X-Men eventually. It's a 5-year plan that they have with their planning and everything. So I mean, regardless, we're gonna see Gambit in some shape or form, and our kids are gonna enjoy it on a whole nother level. Because they're gonna look at Spider-Man and they're gonna think Miles Morales, they're not going to think Peter Parker. The next generation is going to look at Spider-Man differently.
That was
Spider-Man.
The Miles Morales.
I mean, it's generational,
dude. Yeah, that was massive because that I know personally as Hispanic, that was huge for us. I know, my one of my, he's my compadre. You guys know what a compadre is he's the dad of my godson. My godson's Puerto Rican. He's half Puerto Rican. So for them to see, that Miles Morales, Spider-Man, that was colored in Puerto, you know what I mean? Like the Puerto Rican side of it and all that. It was just nuts, man. So yeah, I definitely, from that standpoint, it's gonna be really interesting. And
go ahead.
No, I just that was it.
No, I was gonna say, and just kind of relating back to trading cards, right? Those who are here, a lot of you are in the sports realm here with Retro, and so as Marvel is becoming more and more popular or more and more, I guess, known, that's kind of what we have been trying to do as content creators. Is just let people know that there's Marvel cards out there, because a lot of people are like, Marvel cards. I never seen Marvel cards, and so just getting that out there is the most important part right now, I feel. So
totally. The the parallels are so there. I mean, look at these. Doesn't this remind you of Jordan? I mean,
Yeah,
he
that's
had
a
the
PMG.
PMG.
Anybody who
We
knows
got,
anything about trading cards, that's a PMG.
you know, and then you have platinum portraits that just came out for the first time. You know, I mean, I was looking at a Jerry Rice one on eBay the other day.
Yeah.
I was like, man, those are cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is the first year they're out in Marvel. So
Yeah,
we're
I got an
talking
Elijah.
inaugural. Yeah, inaugural stuff for Marvel is 2013 for PMGs and 2021 for the platinum portrait. So we're barely kind of hitting that. Like you guys we're like 20 years behind, but we just all of a sudden are starting to hit a stride because we're
You're just
still
now
kind of a
getting
low
there.
print count. And I mean, the numbers are there. A lot of cards are hard numbered. You look
So-
at Marvel Masterpieces. Marvel Masterpieces are all like almost all hard numbered nowadays. The modern sets.
And that was what I was going to say is with the stats that we mentioned earlier, you know, you have players that do really well in seasons and come out and they're rookies and all that stuff. And then they're really bad or horrible, or they get a DUI and
They get hurt.
it ruins their reputation. They get hurt and all that stuff with Marvel characters. That's why a lot of these sports guys are dipping into Marvel right now because they're like, oh man, I need something else to kind of feel another side of it, just to kind of hedge my baseball cards or my football cards. And so that's kind of where we're seeing a lot of this happening is these investments in PMGs and Marvel Universe 1990 and getting sealed wax and grading them after opening them. And that's why we're seeing all this stuff is because they're looking at it as an investment standpoint, just like baseball cards, you know,
Right.
And Marvel cards had never been looked at like that in ever.
Yeah.
And so just grading Marvel cards has just been like new the last few years. I mean, I'm sure
I mean, look at it this way
some
too.
OGs, but
how old were we when we were starting to buy these packs? I mean, we were like 8, 9, 10 years old.
9, 10 years old, something like
10
that.
years old.
Yeah,
10 years
you know,
old
before we were meeting girls and all that stuff. So then you get into this point where now we're like in our 30s and 40s, and this shit is cool. You know, look at all these movies are things we only imagined as kids, and now we can make believe and all that as kids, and now we can actually see it. And the kids are so spoiled. Our kids are spoiled beyond words for what they get to watch.
Yeah, agree.
So
100%.
I am always proud that like to see how Marvel has come along, the product and property, and Disney's not going to mess that up. They're just not. Like the way they've done Star Wars, they're not going to mess up Marvel. And I'm just excited to see that. I mean, you talked about Miles Morales and the connection. Imagine the Muslim connection to Miss Marvel coming out. It's global. It's worldwide. You know, I meet people and trade with them, and they're from all over the world. You know, I've met a guy and traded with him a Gambit Geode, and he lived in the Philippines. You know, so it's like it's just really cool. It's a great community, and I hope I see more Marvel at card shows. I'm starting to see that it's starting to happen more and more, that people are like, hey, I've got this, and they're not afraid to like bring it out. Before we had to like be like, hey, do you have Marvel? And we'd get laughed at, you know. Like
it was the little shoebox like tucked off in the corner over there with dust on it. And
they dust it off and be like,
cards back here.
Just to let everybody know too, a few days ago, you know, we got together and we were talking about the rabbit hole that's really long for Marvel cards, because I haven't even mentioned it. We haven't even mentioned it, but I mean, Marvel cards, big time player or sketch cards, and artists that do these sketch cards that are in the Marvel game. I mean, these one-of-one sketches that you can pull out of these packs, and they're just amazing cards because they're a one-of-one of that character. And there's one-of-ones in baseball and football and all that stuff. And that's kind of where it's at, is these inserts are kind of merging and kind of coming together.
Look at that. Look at packs with the flex. So let's talk a little bit about that, because I think that's a very distinguishable thing that is not present in the sports card community, right? It's something that that it's essentially what they're doing is they're sending a blank template to the artist, right? And they're saying, hey, here's this blank template. We want you to draw something on this card. And these are artists that are prevalent within the hobby. And they're saying, we're going to send you this blank card, which is basically a blank canvas, and we want you to draw on it and send it back to sign it and then send it back to us. And then they randomly insert those, and then those are like your one of ones, right? In my opinion, that is head and shoulders above any one of one that you'll ever pull in in any sport card. I mean, think of like right now, if I was to think about like a one of one, I don't know, Justin Herbert RPA with a piece of the laundry tag from his jersey. I mean, okay, that's great, right? And the piece of the laundry tag is something that's it's a small piece. It's one thing, but how many of those jerseys are out there? How many other one of ones are there going to be maybe in a different set, maybe in a different design or something like that? But what you're getting here, because and I know quite a bit about this because my brother collects Star Wars, and in Star Wars there's these one of one sketch cards that come out. And I remember the first time I encountered this, I was like, that is a true one of one. Like, they will never reproduce that card ever again. And it's unreproducible, if that's a word, right? I mean, you can't do that. I mean, even for a one of one, there's printing plates out there for it. There's, all these other things that really make it not a one of one. Even within, my own, Prism chase that I'm doing for Akeem Olajuwon, there's 3 one of ones, and it's basically the same design, just different colors, but there's 3 of them. So that is to me, those sketch cards are true one of ones, and the rarity of them are head and shoulders above. I mean, I wouldn't even call it rarity. There is no rarity because it's only one. And that guy literally sat there, or girl literally sat there and drew it up and sent it back to Upper Deck, I guess, at this point. And then they stuck it in a pack. And if you got lucky to get it, then you have a true unique piece of art.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
And
that's head and shoulders above any one of one that you'll ever pull from any sports pack ever. And I honestly believe that.
It ruined our minds. It ruined us when they first started. When we all stumbled on sketch cards for the first time, however it was in our paths in this hobby, and you pulled your first one, you freaked out and you were just like, what is this? And oh my God. Or you saw someone else do it and you're just like, I want that. And it's just incredible, man, because it's something
as a collector, you're like,
some of these sketches are next level and to the next degree. You see full body ones. Some are done by famous, renowned artists. So like you could pull one of Freddie and it could be worth like $2,000, and collector, it's scary.
Even within the mass production of just the base sets, right? So let's talk about that for a second, because you touched a little bit on it earlier about how you said that that it's art that was done specifically for the cards. It wasn't comic book art that came from the comic book. It was like these masterpiece ones. Those were the artwork was created for the card set. So you're not getting that anywhere else, right? And even that in and of itself is still a very unique thing, as you're getting unique artwork that was only done for this set. You're not going to see it anywhere else. It's not like they took an excerpt from a comic book and then slapped it on a card and then just started printing the hell out of it, right? They actually had artists come in and go, okay, we're going to make a set and we're going to produce this set specifically for these cards.
Well, and just like you said, with like, for instance, when you are opening a pack that has an autograph in baseball or football or sports pack, and you open it up, and what's the first thing on the back of the card? It says, "Congratulations, you've just received an autograph signed in the presence of." The company that does the base, the cards.
Panini in this case, yeah.
Yeah, and exactly, that's exactly what these cards say is, congratulations, you've just received a one-of-one sketch card, and it's just amazing.
Is that a sketch card you're pulling up there?
It's a
So this is
sketch card
a
of Freddie
auto,
and-
signed by Freddie and numbered out of 50. So he only signed. It's hard to see it. Sorry, my camera's a
Yeah,
little
I
glary.
can see it. Yeah, it's like a gold signature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, with these you get the whole congrats because it's the pack pulled type of one, and this is
Nice.
strictly from ePack exclusive. So you can't even find these in physical form. They only are released on ePack at a certain hour once a week. Crazy.
I mean, that's just as far as how far down the rabbit hole can go, or sketch cards. I mean, we're gonna touch on the surface tonight, and about
Right.
some of these cards. So
Yeah, I just want to give folks an introduction here, guys. We don't want to
save that for we can do a whole episode of sketch cards.
Well, but here's the thing, though, is what I ultimately want is some folks that are in the sports card world to get a little bit of taste of the content that you guys put out, so that we can funnel them over there, because I know nothing about this stuff, right? You guys are the subject matter experts here. I just want to send them all over there and go, hey, if you guys want to know about Marvel cards, head on over that way, because you're gonna get none of that over here, because I know nothing. But there's a lot to get into. There's so much, like you just said it right now, e-packs, and I'm pretty sure a bunch of people are like, what the hell is an e-pack?
Yeah, that's another episode.
That's a whole nother ball game. That's a whole nother can of
Sorry,
worms
guys.
that we almost went down that rabbit hole the other day, and I was like, what e-packs? What is
That'll
this?
be part 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So hey, so Madness, I see you got some stuff queued up here. You want me to switch over to that, and you guys get a little show and tell there?
Yeah, just real quick, because
what I wanted to do.
All right, now we got an echo.
We got the echo.
Oh, just hold on for a second.
Yep, I can mute it.
No, you're good. Am I echoed now?
Nope, you're
Nope.
good.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to show just some of the guys in the sports card realm that there are cards out that are Marvel cards that are like cracked ice. They're like specific inserts that you're going to find in different sets that you're going to open in sports. Just like this kind of parallel set right here, this parallel card that you see.
You know what that looks like?
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
And so you tell me what the sports card calls that, and the Marvel card calls it a Radiance card, where sports probably calls it something totally different. But there are cards out like that. This is from the 2015 Vibranium put out by Upper Deck. It was the very first set that Upper Deck put out with multiple parallels.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if there's a parallel.
That's a mosaic.
Like that.
That's what we would call that in the sports card world, the mosaic.
Is this one right here? This Radiance
that one right there, yeah. TGT's
okay.
calling that one out, mosaic.
All right. And just so everybody knows, these are numbered cards. I don't know if you can quite see this. It's numbered to 50 right there at the very top right.
See, and for us, that mosaic comes in actually a mosaic pack. They're just like parallels.
Okay.
They're nothing really like spectacular.
So this right here, the cracked ice is numbered to 99. I know a lot of your cracked ice is numbered as well.
Yeah, cracked ice rookie. So like that's like the premier card to get in a box of contenders is cracked ice. So you get a cracked ice auto or a cracked ice rookie card auto. Like that's like a rookie ticket auto. That's like the premier rookie card autograph card to get is a cracked ice. And then that's a red shimmer. So that would be a red shimmer for us.
Oh wow! So that's a molten for Marvel. So
okay.
And it's numbered. I don't know what they're numbered to on your realm, but it's numbered to 299.
So for us, shimmered in this last prism, I think shimmered prisms. There was a green shimmer, a blue shimmer, and then one of ones was a black shimmer. That was a 1-of-1 exclusive, I think, to the first off the line sets that are all black shimmer parallels, and those were 1-of-1s. And then I think Fanatics had a green shimmer that was like to 8 or something like that. But yeah, there's those are pretty numbered as well. That would be a first off the line disco prism.
Okay,
is what we would call it.
Looks so cool.
So we call it a raw, which is just like a raw parallel.
Okay.
It's not numbered at all. It's just a parallel. And then you got the base, which is just a regular shiny card of this
Rainbow.
set. Yeah.
So that's just the base right there?
Yeah, this is just the base, man. I mean,
okay.
it kind of looks like the chrome, you know.
Yeah, the prism or the chrome.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how this set was. If nobody knows PMGs with Marvel, this actual artwork is from the 2013 PMG that Marvel had, and they used the same artwork on Wolverine on this set for the 2015 for all these parallels.
So that's interesting because 2012, 2013 for basketball and 2013 for football was the first year of Prism when they used that chrome, kind of that chrome base card that you have right there. And that was the base. That was the base set for Chrome Prism, which is interesting.
So in the first set for Marvel's 2015. So that makes sense that it was a little after. But I just wanted to give a taste out there to all you guys out there that are watching this, that Marvel, I mean, it's some of these parallel, you know, sets that you see are just some of these.
They're familiar.
Yeah, you're going to be familiar with a lot of these cards that you'll see in here. So
if I had to give you guys one pick at one set that you would say it's worth grabbing a box, right? If you wanted to introduce,
like right now.
Yeah, like right now, let's say somebody comes to you and they say, all right, man, I was a huge Marvel fan back in the day. I'm a huge Marvel fan of the MCU right now. I really dig anything Marvel. I really would like to jump into this. I got $100. Where are you pointing them? Where are you pointing them as far as what to buy, to rip and to, you know, I guess potentially have some fun, or either like what's the best rip right now?
Well,
I would want to give a shout out because $100. I'll be honest with you guys. $100 gets you more the low tier product of Marvel, like Marvel Annual. You could get a box of that, and if you just want to have some fun and just collect, you're not into like collecting it with one day it becoming valuable or all that. You're just more into. I'm really into the characters and all that. I say go with Marvel Annual. You could afford it at $100. Get a whole sealed box. Almost make a full set and have a lot of fun with some of those inserts. And they're pretty cool inserts. I have a few. When I get a chance, I'll see if I can show them. If not, I'll put them on my Instagram. But they're still very nice cards.
Would be Marvel Ages. Marvel Ages would be another
Marvel Ages
you could do. And
Marvel Ages is a good budget.
Marvel Ages actually has a little bit more parallels, I feel, than Annual. I mean, the Annuals, I feel, a huge set where Marvel Ages is too, but they have more parallels outside of things, and you could probably get more parallels out of the Ages. But
correct. And then you could get though a Marvel Annual new set that's coming out in November-ish if you wanted a new product. But that's for a more low tier set for Marvel Ages and Marvel Annual. But if you wanted to, like, say, get in on a break with those $100 and get a chance at something rare and very cool, go with Cards of Metal. He breaks product and sometimes has masterpieces. I know he's going to do something really big. You follow him on Instagram. It's cards_of_metal. And he does breaks on Instagram on Wednesdays and is on Whatnot as well. And Whatnot is a really crazy community out there. I know it's like, oh my God, it could even seem like gambling, but he has really good product that he breaks. And if you're into X-Men, depending on your character, I would say, like, it's always a question dependent on what you're into in Marvel. But if you're into like the X-Men, or Omar, for instance, is into Gambit, I would say, hey, try and look at different videos of some of the different content providers out there as well, like Random Collector 23, Spidey Jew 09, yours truly up here. Sorry, which way am I pointing? There we go. Josh has a lot of videos of opening a lot of different product, and Watch Me Open. Bill opens a ton of product, and he opened the 1996 Masterpieces, which is a really rare product that you don't see opened anymore that is sealed.
Yeah, don't
So,
be
I
afraid
mean-
to reach out to me or Marvelous Packs. Just off topic
Yes.
here. Just reach out to us and
ask us questions.
find out what's going on in the Marvel realm, and we can steer you in the right direction if you want
Absolutely.
some sealed stuff or some just to open some packs. I mean, we can tell you about
Yeah.
ePack too. That's no problem, because if, let's say, you're a sports collector and all you hear is PMGs, how can I rip some stuff with PMGs? How can I do that? Well, the only thing you can probably buy right now that is even semi close to probably an under $100 budget is some packs of Marvel Metal. And you could hit, by chance, a PMG or a numbered parallel out of those. And that goes into ePack. So just reach out to me and Marvelous about that stuff. I know I have sealed stuff that, I've opened on my channel, and Marvelous Packs even does. I mean, he opened up, what was it, a 2020 Marvel Masterpiece box that you opened. So there's stuff out there that you can get. A lot of the Marvel stuff right now, just because of what's going on, you're going to find it be $300-400 for more of the premier stuff, like the premier 90s stuff. But if you're getting into masterpieces, 1996 masterpieces, you can't even find those boxes. And if you do find those boxes, you're probably looking 15, 20K for those boxes.
For a 96 masterpiece box?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dude, look it up. Look it up right
I'm
now
looking it up
and
right
put it on the
now.
screen. You'll freak out.
Oh
It's crazy
my
because
God.
this is when to explain it. This has two of the premier artists in Marvel card history. So it has Julie Bell and Boris Vallejo, who are married, and one is a Peruvian. Boris Vallejo is Peruvian, and Julie Bell. So that's the box, and that's the art by Julie and Boris, and it's beautiful, incredible art of Surfer.
16.
Yeah, that card is the double impact. Yeah.
So
this is right before Marvel went bankrupt. So right before Marvel went bankrupt, this set came out, and there was just a low print count. This was one of the ones right as they were going out of business. So it's rumored that there's not a lot out there, and it's one of, look at these cards. I mean, the Psylocke graded at an SGC $1,200, man, and that's a good price, because to be honest, these are the most sought after cards of masterpieces.
So raw cards, just on average on these cards, just one raw card goes for $40 or $50.
Wow. And we're talking the base set.
Yes.
So here's mine that I got lucky enough to get a 10 on, and it's a Spider-Woman.
Wow.
See,
you pulled that from a pack or what?
No, actually,
One of our
my friend
buddies
did that.
did.
I'm telling you about. Watch Me Open, who is on YouTube. Watch Me Open opens all the crazy Marvel products you wish you had the budget for. So he's awesome, and he opened it in the community, and he ended up posting it up for sale on the Facebook group. The doubles. He was kind enough to sell his doubles raw at really fair prices. I mean, really nice prices. So he's a really good guy in the community. I really suggest giving him a subscribe as well, because you'll get to see this whole product get open from start to finish. And he does it over weeks, because it's one of those that you spread out, because it's that type of art. You enjoy card for card. The base cards go for that much money. Imagine the chase cards, what those go for, or the redemptions.
With these 1996, I mean, a lot of them are sought after, and not a lot of sports guys know. And so they always kind of go back to the 1990 MU. They're like, oh, 1990 MU, 1990 MU. And just kind of John G's point that he just asked, he has 3 sets of the 1990 Marvel MU. Yeah, if Marvel Universe, if you can open these boxes and you can find out of the whole box, if you can find maybe 10 to 15 perfect looking, all the borders are all even cards, and send them in to be graded, for sure you can get your probably money back and all that stuff. But at the same time, right now, I think it's on just kind of on a break right now. Not a lot of
Mhm.
people are opening these right now. They will start to probably later down the road. So if you do have some and you're just sitting on some boxes, I would wait it out a little bit longer. Just because right now PSA is closed, BGS is pretty much closed too for these regular submissions. And so
Right.
if you're just
Great
looking
comment
though
by-
for
Great
cool
comment by Ronis.
cards, yeah.
Yeah, so
Great
Ronan is
comment.
saying one of the cool things about Marvels, we care more.
Oh,
We care
what's
about
up,
the art
Keith?
and the artist.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes
Yeah.
the character means more than anything, and other times the artist means more than the character. That's interesting.
So
It's true.
let me just add to that point there. There are me. Okay, I'll just give you an example. Me, I'm a character collector of Wolverine. Yes, he's a hard collector to collect. But at the same time, why I switched to that is just because that's where my grassroots come from. Now,
Mhm.
me, when I look at a sketch card, if it's not Wolverine, I'm not interested. And that sketch card of Wolverine has to be really, really good, or I have to kind of know that the artist is kind of a well-known in the Marvel community or Marvel realm, I guess.
See, for
Just
me,
be-
it's just my taste. Art
Yeah.
is so subjective,
And a lot of
man,
it
and I love
is.
mutants. I love collecting X-Men. So for me, I love X-Men characters, and I think sketches that stand out to me are different styles, and I like whatever catches my eye. I think is what I go for. So
See-
that's why I've always enjoyed Marvel Masterpieces, because you get different artists in different years that
That's
do
a-
these different. You could collect Spider-Man and see him
Mhm.
done the same 1,000 times, but you could also collect Spider-Man in masterpieces and see
Right.
him visually different
5
by
different
the
ways.
way the artist looked at him,
Yeah,
and that's
to that
fascinating.
point, to that exact point, I don't even like Carnage as a character, but this
But look
card
at
right
that.
here is so freaking nuts. That card
Amen.
is insane. The artwork on that is insane.
It's
Well, and
beautiful.
if you go to some of the 95, so you talked about cards that where to go to get some of these cool art cards. The 1995 Marvel Masterpieces is another hot card right now, but it's not nearly as much to get these cards on the 95. It's still a premium. It's more premium, I feel, than 90 MU. But
I see
you're
my Shadow
gonna
Cat right down
see
there.
This art. You're gonna see this art on the 95. So anything master.
So yeah, the 95 is right there. There's actually a Carnage right
Yeah,
This one?
that
it's-
other yeah,
it's an
that's
emotion,
a
right?
95.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's an Emotions. That's a 1995 Emotions Gold Sig. So that's like an insert of Carnage, and that's art done by
Yeah.
Scanlan.
So just look at the difference there, right? I mean, so we're talking about the same exact character drawn in two totally different ways. I mean, you're talking about two totally different styles of two totally different people that drew the same character in the way that they see it.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
And both of them are equally as stunning. Well, that card's
Yep.
in pretty bad shape, but
It's in bad shape, yeah.
yeah. But I mean, it's insane.
That would get a SGC 7.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like a 6 or a 7. But it's so crazy because that's one of the things that I liked about when I was going through my card set was, I got maybe like 4 or 5 different gambits, and they're all completely different. Like they're all in different ways, and not one not any better than the other, but it's still just it's gnarly to see the differences.
So that's what we as collectors talk about. Like when we're in our little group chats or whatever we're doing together, we'll be like, man, but that 94 Gambit,
yeah,
that was fire.
yeah.
Because like for you guys would be like, yeah, but that rookie Shaq, from
Exactly.
back in the day.
Exactly.
Well, for us, we're like, oh man, I like that 90 Gambit, but that 94, like it's not about rookie or nothing. It's about
It's
the
all
art.
it's all about the art. It's about the art. Keith
That's-
made a really good point in the fact that there are some collectors out there that like comic art. I'm one of them. I love comic art. I love that when I can get a card and it's a parallel and it's shiny, just like those cards I just showed you, and they're numbered. That to me, if it's a Wolverine, that's like I want that card really bad.
Yeah.
But it just depends, because some artists, just like Boris and Julie on the 1996, you see some of the Wolverines on that, and it's just deep art on these cards, and that's where a lot of us collectors, OG collectors out there, that's where we go, is that the art, and that's why we collect.
Yeah, I came in not from cards. I didn't come in from cards. I came in from the comic world. So for me, it was like, whoa, like this is, I gravitated to Marvel Masterpieces more than Impel, because to me, it was like, I've already seen all that in comics, and I wanted to see my characters represented in original art. And so that's why I gravitated towards sketch sets of Rittenhouse, where you could get sketch cards, Marvel Masterpieces. And with the new stuff, it has a mix of both worlds. You get these fancy, rare sports inserts that bring in the sports world, but at the same time, you get some original art that's really impressive. Like, we have printing plates too. We have all that stuff we can get, and it makes the rainbow even harder and it more of an ordeal. So we all just find our way to collect in a sane way, where it's like, you know what, I can live without that version of, in your case, Gambit,
right. Yeah, because you're like, I don't want to go down that check. Like right now, one of the things that's really bothering the hell out of me is that I started this Prism run, this rainbow chase with my Elijahwans, and I'm at that point now to where I'm at the tail end where it's probably, it took me maybe a year and a half to like get all the ones that I have now, and it's probably going to take me like another 5 years to get the last 3. And that's the one where you're really going to pull your hair out, just trying to find like those last few ones to get it, to get it going there, which really sucks. But the other thing too is that now COVID, and so we haven't been able to go to card shows really that much, and it's really kind of starting to kick back off again. And so I got to get out there and start trying to hunt this thing down. But man, it's a whole nother ball game to do
Marvel cards. They'll have everything that sports has. We have patch cards, and we have specific memorabilia cards, just like all the sports and all that stuff.
So talk about those for a second, because we did talk about those when we were talking about it the other day, is the patch cards and the patch memorabilia cards and all that stuff.
So give me the camera one more time. I'll actually show you
right
some.
Here.
Yeah. So this right here.
Give it to me, Retro. Give it to me.
Give it to me.
So this is actually, I'm a big fan of 2015 Vibranium. So and that's where this patch is from. It's actually considered a box hit, these patch cards. This is Colossus. It happens to be one of Marvelous Pack's favorite characters. So I just
thanks, guy.
You're hurting right now is what you're doing.
And then got the Loki there, from the.
So what is that? What is that
series.
relic though? That patch that's in there. What is that?
So it actually is just a knitted patch of the character.
I gotcha.
That's all it is. So, and it says on the back, it says, "Congratulations, you've received a trading card with a manufactured Marvel patch. Enjoy your memorabilia card." That's what they show. So there's Loki.
Nice.
They're not numbered or anything like that, but they are box hits. So they won a box.
And so you guys were telling me that a lot of the newer like relic stuff is like pieces of costumes that were actually worn in the movies and things like that, right?
Yeah, some of them. Yeah.
Correct.
I don't have my box
So there are
right in front of me, but I do have some of those too.
Yeah,
there are
ones.
wardrobe. Yeah, you can get their wardrobe cards. You could get comic cuts. You could get what else is there? I know there's a bunch. There's like film cells. There's other things. There's like stuff that's manufactured, but then there's stuff that was actually used on production. And there's stuff where it blurs the line, where you don't really know.
So just to
truly like used.
Just to let everybody know about the newer set that came out this year. It was called Marvel Black Diamond. Those who are in the sports realm know Black Diamond is a premier set. Well, these Marvel Black Diamond, when the set came out, I mean, these boxes were going for $450 a pop, and the one box is only one pack, and the one pack only comes with 5 cards.
Oof.
So you're opening one pack, and in hopes that you get something that you hit, whether it's an auto or a sketch or something like that.
Chris Hemsworth auto, a crazy auto sketch.
Yeah, I happened to buy a box, and I got a Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel. I got a sketch, and it was actually not just a sketch by a plain Jane artist. It was actually within the top 5 Marvel artists that I got the sketch of.
So is there a hierarchy right now that everybody is kind of like the hobby in general just has a general consensus of what the hierarchy is for the artists? Like, is there like for us, it's obviously, the big cards are the Jordans, the LeBrons, the Kobes. In basketball, I'm not exactly sure what it is in football. I mean, in baseball, football, you'd be looking at, the Tom Brady's, and then, whatever the hot rookie is at the moment.
I think there's a lot of people that have put it very basic, but it's hard to put sketch cards like that, because that's also another thing, because there were sets where it was 1 per box, but there were low box runs. But there were also sets where there were higher box runs where it was 1 per box. But then it's gotten rare again. It's like a case hit, sort of like in Star Wars, where it's like, oh, okay, like that, to pull a couple sketches, that's like, okay, 2 in a case kind of thing. So that's what is happening now. And for me, it's like, it depends on if it's pack pulled, if what set it's from, the character, the artist, and not necessarily in that order. You know what I mean? Because some are going to be a lot more rare to pull, and some are going to be crazy artists that put it over the top no matter what
character it is.
No matter what character it is, too. Yeah.
Different type of collectors, too. There's collectors that collect actual characters of sketch cards. So basically, they'll get the sketch card just for the character, not really care about the artist. And then there's people that want the artist. There is this one guy on ePack that was searching around, and he wanted just this one sketch card artist, and he wanted a character, an X-Men character of that artist from every single character, and so there's some guys out there that have some off topic type of collections that they want.
There's guys that want it's one of one. It's one of one. It's basically whatever someone's willing to pay for it,
I'm sure there's alpha and omega hunters in your guys' sports world. There's alpha and omega hunters here in our world too.
See, for those that's where they'll be like, what is that? Because they don't do that. I've heard sports people collect jersey number, like they'd want like number 23. I have no
idea what you're talking about when you say alpha.
So okay, so this is what I've heard from sports people. I've heard from sports people that they come into our hobby and they'll be like, "Hey, Marvelous, what are you talking about when you say alpha and omega? Bro, you're tripping me out. Like, we don't do that with our hard numbered cards." In the sports world, we go for like, if I'm a Kobe guy, I want 24 or I want number 8. You know what I mean? Like, that's the number I would want.
For me, Elijah would be 34.
Yeah. So for us, it would be alpha is the number 1 out of 100 if it's a Spider-Man card. So it'd be the number 1. And if it's like a Wolverine omega, it would be the number 100 out of 100.
Okay, so I've heard those referred to as bookends.
Yeah.
So the number 1 out of 100 and number 100 out of 100. I've heard them referred to as bookend cards, or as what we like to call the eBay 1 of 1.
Those get more value in our hobby, believe it or not. The alpha, and to a lot of collectors, they've established that, whoa, you got the last one on the. I like omegas, and they go after that, and they go after alphas. In our small hobby.
There was a guy in our Facebook group, and he collects a lot of the ones that are numbered to 100 or 99. And he just goes after one number, and it's 69.
Oh, you got to go there, Josh.
Nice. That was the same guy that was writing boobies on his calculator.
Probably.
Because he was the guy to do it. The community helped him. They were like, all right, hey, who has a 69?
We're on it. That's hilarious. Yeah, I mean, they have that here. It's a bookends, but it makes sense though because in Marvel there's no jersey numbers, right? So there's really nothing from a numbering standpoint that would actually like drive you to a specific number. So it makes sense that the bookends for you guys, or in this case the Alpha and the Omega, would be the ones to chase even within a series, a numbered series. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Somebody
And some
says
people
they
are
gotta,
superstitious. Some
Yeah.
people have a lucky number. Some people
Yeah.
just want, I like number 7 or I like
Yeah.
number 3 or whatever, you know. But
Yeah.
a lot of people in this hobby, they label Alpha and Omega, and then sports people are like, what are they talking about, Marvelous?
Yeah. Yeah, right now, when you were talking about it, I had no idea what you were talking about. I was like, "Well, this is
Yeah, sorry about that. I should have started with explaining myself.
No,
But
it's
that's the
good.
interesting part is that nobody really like, like I said, you guys refer to them as Alpha and Omegas. For us, it's just book. I mean, I've heard them referred to as bookends of like number 1 of 100 or number 100 of 100, and then immediately
See, Marvel guy said it. Marvel guy is like, I got my Omega coming. He's
Yeah, my
excited, and it's a
Omega, which is the
buyback, and it's out of
premium.
10. Huge card.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Ronus is already trying to buy it.
Marvel guy.
See, look at that. Keith wants it.
That's our buddy Keith. Shout out
Yeah.
to Keith, bro. Thanks for
Yeah.
joining us.
That's hilarious.
Glad we have our Marvel fam in here.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of people in here, man.
No, but for serious though, if you have like let's say a 1 of 10 Wolverine buyback, right now it's probably worth about $2,500 to $3,000.
What?
Well, that buyback, and this is out of the 2021 metal, right?
The newest set.
If you have an Alpha, it's worth probably another 200, 300, 400, 500 more. It just depends on who is willing to buy that much more for that.
So people might be like confused right now and be like, what the hell is a buyback? So a buyback is basically a 90s card stamped by bought back by the company Upper Deck. They bought it from somebody on eBay. Who knows who they bought it from? They bought it from somebody and they bought a certain amount. So in this case, it's 10 for the Spidey 2099. So with those 10, they'll stamp them and hard number them. And that'll be what they hide in the one in every case kind of.
Is there anything like that in the sports card world?
I don't. So I've heard the term buyback before. So I'm sure.
Okay.
I'm sure that there is, right?
Okay.
But I wasn't aware of the concept. So these are actually. So you mentioned that Spidey 2099. Like I have a couple of those in the Marvel and the Masterpiece sets.
Yeah. So this is a 1995 Marvel Metal. You have some of those cards. I don't know if you have Spidey 2099, but you do have some of those base. Basically, they bought some of those from a collector and hard numbered them and stamped them.
That's
So
six armed Spider-Man. That's
that one is sick.
That's actually the
cool.
Metal Blaster.
Yeah, this is the Metal Blaster one, and then
The Flasher. Sorry, it's the Metal Flasher.
And then these are the gold ones that I have, which is my boy right here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then I had
You got the
another
Gold Blaster,
Spidey
too.
2099. I guess
Dude,
not.
that should be in a card saver retro.
Oh,
that should be getting ready to go to SGC.
Yeah. So
Well, we'll teach him up. Let's
get into that for a second because I think that's a good look.
segue.
Yeah, let's get into that for a second because what we're gonna do is like I said, we had already previously kind of talked. I always like to especially when we're in this type of scenario where we're gonna do some chatting about what we're gonna do here. And when we left that conversation, we said we were gonna you guys are doing a submission here pretty soon with SGC. I typically like to try to do as many as I can throughout the year. And I told you I was gonna pick 10 cards. 5, 6, 7, 8. Where's my other ones? Okay. Actually, I picked 11, so I cheated. But so I was gonna pick out 10 cards, or 11 in this case, and then show you guys what I picked, and then kind of go over them because I think this is what I'm gonna submit. This is what I'm gonna send off to SGC. So
this is exciting.
This is gonna be interesting. You guys are gonna be like, what the hell are you sending that 5-cent card. It's just
Hey, dude, if you love it and dude,
all right. So
it's like you say, this is for my PC. I'm not getting rid of this. You know what I mean? Like
so this
that's
is the
your
first
Akeem.
one.
That's your Olajuwon.
That is
That's
my
your
Olajuwon. Absolutely. That is my Olajuwon. So this is probably my favorite artwork of all for all the
Oh,
games.
the Hildebrandt Bros. That's beautiful.
Is that who this is?
Yeah, the Hildebrandt brothers, Tim
so
and
this is 94.
Greg Hildebrandt from the 1994
Tim.
Marvel Master.
Well, this one's 94.
Yeah,
94.
So that's the
94
first
Marvel
one.
masterpieces.
That's a
Then-
great card.
This one from the Impel set. So this again, I mean, dude, just imagine this in a tuxedo, bro. Like,
Thank you. How are you going to
gnarly.
start with that one and then go to the Impel next? It makes it look like, oh man, I'm subjective. You might love that card, but for me, I'm like, I'm not a big fan of that one.
You're
But
not feeling
it's
it.
Gambit and it's your guy.
it's Gambit,
know.
it's my guy, and I'm gonna tell you what. One of the reasons why I like this set is because it reminds me of the cartoon.
Oh
This-
man, the animated show. It's
This
coming
is
back,
the
bro.
This is the one that this card here reminds me the most of the series, and in the series is where I
amen.
fell in love with Gambit.
Amen, bro. I
'Cause
can't
just
hate on
thought,
that.
Like out of all of them, like I thought Cyclops was like a square, right? And then I thought that Wolverine was a little too gangster. Like I didn't really like him too much. I like Beast because I thought he was like super intelligent, but he'll still like rip your face off. But Gambit, in my opinion, was the absolute coolest of them all. He was the coolest of them all. Like he had the swag, he had the trench coat and the bow staff. Donatello is my favorite Mutant Ninja Turtle. So he had the bow staff and he was throwing the cards with the fire. And I was like, this dude is over the top, insanely cool. And so
I can't hate, man. That's the right answer. That's the right answer.
Yeah,
So
you
here we
should
go.
see Gambit in the suspended animation if you like the animation series. That's a cool card.
That's a fire card. That is.
suspended anime. Why are you doing this to me? And so, what is this suspended animation you speak of?
It's like it's an insert in the 1995 Fleer Ultra X-Men.
You guys
set.
have you guys have acetate inserts?
We do have acetate.
Okay.
There's actually just recently here Panini released or re-released a Donruss set, which was a base. Donruss is like retail, like you can buy it at the stores, but they released a clearly Donruss set,
Nice.
which is actually an entire acetate set. Like the whole set is acetate.
That's awesome.
I actually have a rookie card for Jay Sean Tate out to TGT right now, getting graded. But
Dope.
here's my other one. This is 93 Gambit.
Oh man, you're taking out the good stuff. See, I love it, dude.
That
The
one-
93 mm. That's beautiful.
So I have
Look
a
at
whole-
Gambit. Look at that.
Dude, just kicking ass. I mean, beating the crap out of Sentinels with a bow staff. Like, it just doesn't get any more gangster than that. And then, like, I have no idea, like, why he had the headband with the chin strap and it was just all. I was so confused at how cool he was.
I needed to get.
It's like
you
he's
better-
wearing a tammy, not all the way on.
Yes,
I need to get you a better one. I think I have a better centered one. That one looks a little top heavy.
Is it?
The little bottom heavy. Little bottom.
Hey,
might
good
be
job,
right.
Josh.
Oh yeah, it is actually
Good eye, Josh.
from the bottom
Little
to
bottom
the top.
heavy.
Does not
Yeah, I
match the
don't-
top to the bottom.
Yeah. Maybe I'll just send one in for you.
Interesting. Okay, so that's that one, and then this one I think is probably my favorite one out of all of them because it's the
Nice.
Gold Blaster of the
So
metal.
those are foil. If anybody doesn't know, those are foil cards. They're
Yeah, you
really,
can't
really,
really
really hard to get 10s on because they're foil.
So hopefully
A 9 is a
this one comes back
success
out.
on them. A 9 or a 9.5 by SGC, you're good. You're money with those because
And
the
this is
thing
the
is that
gold-
sometimes a speck of the foil might be missing. That's happened to me on my Spider-Man Gold Blaster. I got a
And
9
those
because everything else was clean.
those backs on the very back, you can basically tell if it's centered because the back can clearly line up. And if it does, then you got a good chance. Like those little dots in the corners.
Oh, the bolts.
yeah, the
those
bolts.
in the corner.
Those bolts will be off. Those bolts
Oh.
will be off if it's not centered. So, and
And
they look
it's-
good. They look good on that card.
They look solid.
Yeah.
So this
It's
one's
cool.
cut off just a little bit, but it's not a lot though.
Nah, it's
Hopefully it
probably
still
close
falls.
to. Yeah, it's close to that. percentage.
Hopefully, it still falls within at least the 9.5.
Yeah.
But the edges on this thing for a foil card are pretty clean.
That's good.
Yeah, they did a great job with that was the first metal set for Marvel.
That's what you want to look
95.
for. That's what you want to
They
look
did a
for.
great job with that.
So that's so we're at what 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's I think all of the gambits that I have, and then the rest of them are these holograph,
nice.
The holograms.
the hologram ones.
Yeah.
So this was what was this? This is still Impel 92.
Yep. Marvel
So
Universe 3.
So these are all the ones that I had that were all the you guys saw them in my binder and were like, get those out of the binder, get those out of the binder.
Yeah, that was my anal coming out there.
You're like, get those out of the binder ASAP, please.
Dude, one
look,
time on a live, I
same
dropped
thing.
my sketch, not big drop, just kind of a slight drop, and Josh caught it and he was like, top load it, top load it, top load it.
I do the exact same thing to people when they send me, because I've had a lot of people, they'll send me their cards, like pictures of their cards, and it'll be in those screw down cases, and I'm just oh no, like get them out of there, like please get them out of there so quick.
It's a nightmare.
Here's
Those are clean, bro. Those are clean. The goal is if you hit 9s on any holograms, those are like 10s because they're just so difficult to get
Really?
10 like gem mint
And
on
then
holo.
this is Ghost Rider, which I think this is probably out of all the hologram ones that I have, this one's just dope.
Sometimes they get print lines on them, which sucks. But for the most part, yours look clean.
I think there was one that we were looking at, and I was like, "Oh," when you guys were telling me about the print lines, and I was like, "Oh, I know what you're talking about. I see it on this one." But I can't remember which one it was. It might have been the Wolverine. And then the last two or the last three are all kind of like honorable mentions,
Cool.
which is the Punisher and the War Machine. These are both the Gold Blasters,
Yeah.
and then, as you referred to it, which is the 6-arm
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
The doppelganger.
So those are my
Cool.
that's gonna be my sub.
So I got 26 cards. I don't know if we want to go through every one, but
So okay, so hold on. So out of all the ones that I have here, the only one you're saying kick out of the set is my OG Gambit.
I didn't say kick out, but I said for me, I wouldn't grade it just because I'm not into Impel. But that's just my personal thing.
I see what you're saying.
A lot of people love it, and it
here's-
sells well. Impel sells well, but it's your PC, and if
Here's
that's
the
the
deal,
Gambit
yeah,
that brings you
yeah.
back to the animated show, you got to
Yeah.
go with that, bro. I think that's a great sub for you. Like it'll
mean,
look
what-
clean. I think
that's
what'll
probably
look the
because he hasn't
best.
seen the suspended animation one.
Well,
But
that's-
yes, no, for sure.
Oh no, he hasn't seen a lot of Gambits yet. People are
I'm
gonna
so
flood you
scared.
with Gambits now.
I'm legitimately
Dude, you're
scared.
gonna get flooded with Gambits. They're like, hey Omar, have you seen this Gambit?
Gambit suspended animation.
So I don't even know if I want to show you the ones I'm sending because
oh, you gotta be shitting me. This thing is badass. Is it Fleer? 94 Fleer?
well,
Yeah, 94 or 95, I forgot.
So
But it's one of those years.
So the suspended animation is from 1994 Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
And that's the Gambit suspended animation card. That is sweet. It is awesome. And there's also one out of the X-Men series sets.
Yeah, 95 Fleer Ultra.
Yeah, correct. Yep. So yep,
That's
there it
dope.
is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Dude.
I like the 95 one better.
There it is.
Believe it or not. I'm more of a 95
I'm with
guy.
you. I'm with you. I like this one better.
Yeah, I got that one too. Yeah. Yep.
That one.
That one reminds me of the show. That to me, it's like that's X-Men.
Yeah,
like
that's awesome.
animated. Like, and they're coming out again, the X-Men animated show, so it's great.
So there's actually some animated base cards. They're out of the X-Men series. I think it's X-Men series 2 set. And they actually have in that set, they have an animation base run in the base
Dude, that
cards.
card is clean.
Not just the inserts. Yeah, that's a cool card.
You gotta I'm like add it to your cart. I'm like trying to click it.
How much do they want for that? $5.
$9.
$9?
Not
Yeah,
bad.
dude. You got to do that.
Not bad.
Interesting.
That's what I love, man. These things. That's what
Oh,
happens.
they're awesome. They're
They
awesome.
yellow. They
Sorry
yellow.
for the little
is
tangent there. I
Ah,
just
is
needed
that
to
what it
show you
is?
that.
And
Yeah,
I
they
like
yellow.
one of the things I like about SGC is that they have that kind of that UV coating on their
slab.
slabs, so
Oh,
that
nice.
that helps with that. So, I'll bring up your camera, Matt,
Okay.
so you can kind of go through give us your. You said you got what 36? Give us your top 10.
26.
26.
Okay. How about
So I'll give you a second to get your top 10 together, and then I'll
You're
bump
good.
you.
You're good.
Let's do this.
Maybe I'll just do one of those.
I think this is still. I think your stream's
Do
still up,
this
right?
here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Just getting some of the ones here. I think we can do some of these. Sorry.
How many people do we have tonight?
So
Retro?
it's been hovering around 40, 45. It got all the way up to like 50 something, and it's like hovering around 35, 40 right about now. So
we only board like half of your regulars, so we're doing okay.
but you know what's interesting though is that it's usually, so I haven't done one in a while, and I didn't really. I think when did I can't remember when's the last time I booked it in advance, and then this time slot is a little bit. I think it's a little bit later than I normally start. I can't remember if I start like usually like at 8 or at 9, but I like this time slot a lot better than my normal time slot because like the house is quiet, nobody's up, and it makes it a little bit more interesting. So
amen. I have a baby. I'm very lucky she hasn't cried.
I think I'm ready.
all right, well
Here we go.
you're up on the there you go.
Okay.
Oh man,
Sounds
that's
good.
a badass. Look at that.
All right. Yeah, you like that?
Jesus.
Okay. So this first one's from the 1995 Flair. It's called a chromium insert card.
Let me just say this. I'm glad I went first because I would not have like shown my little
Hold
10
on.
like after the fact. That would have been terrible.
Okay.
No, your cards are nice, Omar. Your
That's a
mom
Spider-Man
helped
card
you
there.
out.
She did well.
Yeah. So this right here, if you can see,
That embossed?
yeah, it is.
Oh,
This
nice.
is embossed. It's chromish, so it's shiny as well over the whole card. So it's a pretty nice card. But that's one of them. That's the
Just
first
really quick. I want to highlight this because my man Peter has a really good point here. To Marvelous's point about how many people we have in here, is that there's no investors here. Anybody who's here is a collector. I guarantee you a collector for sure.
So there's
That's
that.
awesome.
Okay, so I mentioned earlier the 2001 top set. This is a Wolverine from that top set, 2001. And it's just like the cleanest card that I have. I have like 6 or 7 of these. This is the cleanest card
Oh, nice.
to try to get the best grade on it. This next one is from the Marvel Metal set, which is 2020 Marvel Metal. This is actually for my PC. I don't know if you can see this, but it's like rainbowy purple.
It's like a
And
Damascus.
it's called a grandiose parallel
Holy crap.
from the 2020 Marvel Metal that you can buy off ePack right now for $20 a pack.
Beautiful.
Pretty sweet. Pretty awesome. This is for my PC. All these other ones are duplicates and stuff, except for the Spider-Mans. So this one right here, this is a kind of a throwback Spider-Man card. It's from the 2015, but it's a Fleer Marvel Retro, which is actually out of the same set that there was PMGs. And this is just a regular Spider-Man base from that set. And it's just really in very, very clean condition. The only thing I didn't like is the side-by-side, but I don't know. It's just kind of a different card, the way that it's set up.
Yeah.
This one right here is from the 1992 Marvel Masterpieces. It looks like it's just a regular base card of Spider-Man. But if you flip it over, it's actually the prototype of that card from that set.
So okay, so
So
talk
it's-
about that for a second.
Basically a promo card.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay. But it basically just showed what this set was going to be like as a prototype of what the set was going to be like. And so that's a Spider-Man one. These are really, really hard to get a good grade on. This right here is a really clean card, clean version. I still don't think I'm going to get a 10. I might get a 9 or a 9.5.
Interesting.
This right
Look at
here is
that
from the 2015 the Flair Retro set that I told you about the PMGs.
Yeah.
This is another
That's a good
Spider-Man
name.
card from that. Very clean card. Awesome card of Spider-Man. This right here is another Spider-Man. Sorry, a lot of these are Spider-Man because his resale value is really good. So
Yeah. I could imagine.
this 2020
numbered.
Marvel Masterpieces, that's actually numbered. I don't know if you can quite see that, but it's numbered to 149 or 199. So it's 149 of 199. And it's a purple variant. It's just the purple tier card of this Spider-Man card. I think it's tier 3. Is that tier 3 purple? They're Marvel's packs.
For the Spider-Man, it's tier 1.
Is it tier 1? Okay. The
Yeah,
purple?
Spidey.
Okay.
Luckily, we lucked out with Masterpieces on 2020,
Okay.
and
Cool.
Spidey's tier 1.
That's a
and
pretty
they
thick
made
card.
Wolverine.
Nice.
Wolverine is the tough one to
Yeah, it
pull
is
being tier.
pretty sick.
That's
This
a,
right
that's a pretty
here-
thick card stock, that last one though, right? That was like a 55 point, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's thick. It's thick.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's thick.
All the
And
more modern
The edges on here are really good too.
Yeah, all the more modern masterpieces are thicker cardstock.
Interesting.
So this right here is a suspended animation, but it's a retro. So it's basically 2015 retro that's talking about the suspended animation back in the day. And it's basically just saying, hey, this is a suspended animation, but it's redone in this set. Pretty awesome.
It's like an homage.
And this is actually the variant. There's actually one that actually is everybody gets, and then this is the variant of it, so it's a little harder to get. So this right here, I wanted to stop real quick for all this. This is the 1988 comic images of Wolverine. If you can see that. So this is the earlier version of cards that we were talking about, where this is from the 98 or 1988. Sorry. I don't know if I said 98. 1988 comic images. And it's basically the Wolverine trivia, the Marvel Universe trivia. And it doesn't have stats of Wolverine or anything like that. It basically just has a question on the back with some answers. And then it has the answer. It's pretty crazy, the comic images, how it's set up. But that was like the best centering of I can get of those comic images, because they're really, really hard on the centering to get.
Yeah.
They're way off all the time. So, and then this one right here, this is the Marvel medal from that same 95 medal for that Wolverine coming out. And I'm going to send that one in too, because it's a pretty clean card. I'm
That's
also
a gold
sending
one too, right?
Yeah. No. This is just a base card. Just a base.
Okay.
All of the base cards are all foiled and all that stuff.
Look kind of.
And then I'm going to send this Vibranium in.
That one's
This
dope,
is
man.
It's a duplicate, so, and it's numbered to 299. So I'm hoping it'll get a pretty good grade on it, because it's a very, very clean card. I mean, I wish I could show you all these. I mean,
Look at that.
these are.
What is that? Holy crap!
So this is an
Show 'em.
anime set.
Show 'em all.
Okay.
Show 'em all, dude. This is
okay.
dope.
Okay. So this is a Marvel anime. It came out this year as well, and the artist on it was only one artist that did all the cards. Her name was Peach Momoko. If anybody knows anime, they would know Peach Momoko. And basically, Peach did all of the Marvel characters, and that was Spider-Man. And this is one of the parallel cards. I can't remember what it's called. Do you remember what that card is called? They're Marvelous Packs.
I slept on the anime set. I couldn't have them all, bro.
But it's an awesome card. Awesome card.
And that's
This
a recent
right here,
one, 2020, right?
Yes, very recent. I mean the boxes are pretty hard to find nowadays, but this is a 2007 Marvel Masterpiece set, and it's a foiled Wolverine. You can see that rainbow foiling in the background there, and it's a foiled card of Wolverine. And this
So cool.
this you can get this whole set. I think it's 90 cards. You can get this whole set of foiled cards, and I actually have the whole set. And this is a duplicate that I'm sending in.
Somebody just said Peach Momogo does covers for Marvel.
Yes.
Now.
Yes, she does that too. Yeah.
She first did Marvel cards, and then when you make it big, you graduate to the comics. They pull you. They pull you into the comic. Like from 2018 Marvel Masterpieces, it was only done by Simone Bianchi, and that artist is now doing comics. And after doing the 2018 Masterpieces,
So this is Julie Bell from 1996 Marvel Masterpieces. I needed to send
beautiful
a card. This is Elektra. So those who are fans of Elektra or Daredevil, that's what that's at. I'm sending a Power Blast from actually 1994 Flare. This is a Spider-Man Power Blast. I showed you this
has
card
the
last
super
time.
low pop count. Super low pop count, that card. I think it hasn't even been graded across PSA yet.
Pretty clean card. Pretty clean card. This one right here is a newer card too. It's actually from 2017, the Homecoming Spider-Man. Spider-Man Homecoming, and it's a red foil card, and it's numbered to 199.
That's an MCU set,
and it's actually the Omega. If I'm not, it's 199 of 199.
Oh, look at that!
So pretty
with the
awesome,
major flex right there.
Yep. For Marvel, yeah. This is a 2015. This is from Marvel. It's a dossier set. I'm not too familiar with it. It's a foiled card of Spider-Man. But the set was 2015. It was Upper Deck dossier or something. I can't really pronounce it. But that's what that set's from right there. This is gonna trip your mind. I don't know if you guys have
die cuts
and all that stuff, but this is a die cut Spider-Man 3D set. This whole set's kind of a 3D-ish set where the card is actually almost 3D. Comes and
like
jumps
out
at you.
Like a little hologram action going on there.
Yeah. And then I
see that. Yeah.
So it's gonna be pretty good. And then the last few cards I got here. This is a Gambit. This is an achievement. It's an achievement card. It's actually from the Marvel 2020 Metal set. And the only way to get this achievement card is to get
for me to buy it from you.
Pretty much. When it comes back graded, you can look at it and just drool.
No, because by that time the price triples. I don't want that. I don't want it now before you send it in.
You want it now. But this card right now, you can probably get for under $200 right now.
Oh wow!
They are crazy cheap, and I don't know why these achievement cards are so cheap right now, because they're not going to last. I mean, there's going to be just a limited amount of these cards out there. So I just see it.
They're only through EPAC achievement. When he says achievement, that's that whole EPAC thing.
Yeah, this is a Deadpool achievement. I don't have that brought up, Marvelous Packs, to tell him what's achievable, but that's the rabbit hole that we don't want to go down right now.
We do not want to do that right now, because I've already bought some Gambit acetate cards on eBay right now that I'm not proud of myself about.
So this one's a crazy sticker. Okay,
we're proud
from
of you.
1983 Marvel sticker, and it's a 3D hologram sticker from 1983. And it's of Magneto.
Dude, you're grading stuff I've never even seen before. It's awesome. This is great. I'm
So
being
I
educated.
guarantee you the majority of the time you're having to hand type all these descriptions in because I'm pretty sure they're not even in SGC's database.
Probably not.
Oh
Probably
yeah,
not.
believe me. When I started grading with SGC, I had to like create almost all my cards, and now
Hilarious.
they're actually a lot of them I can look up, and it's
They're
incredible
in there.
how
No
it's
way.
grown. Yeah, it's a movement, man. There's a
Colossus.
lot of us grading with SGC. It's not just a couple of us. There's definitely a lot.
This one right here is from the 1995 Marvel Medal as well, and it's the checklist card. That's why it looks so different. It's the checklist.
That's my favorite checklist card, by the way.
And it is my favorite checklist as well out of all the sets in the 90s. This right here is a Deadpool Grandiose. I showed you the Wolverine Grandiose of the 2020
So
medal.
cool. I love the Grandiose.
And this is actually a very, very clean version. I mean, there's some white stuff on the back there, a little bit up in the corner. I don't know if you can see it. It's just a tiny bit. But these cards, just to let you know, the quality control on these, Omar, weren't great for Upper Deck at all. From the Marvel community, I would just have to say, as a Marvel community as a whole, first off, we were pretty pissed at the quality control of all of these cards that came out this year. It wasn't good at all.
Especially when you pay big money for a box like that. Like you're expecting
Yeah.
some pretty. I mean, we had the same issue this year with this year's Prism. So 2020, 2021 Prism was really, really bad in terms of centering, like horribly bad in terms of centering. And people were super pissed because you're paying $1,500-$1,600 for a box of hobby, right? And it's the worst. I mean, you can't really do that to people, expect to shell out that kind of money and then get cards that are just like horribly printed, stamped, and all that stuff. It sucks.
Yeah, amen, man. It frustrates me too because this has been happening with us since the pandemic, and we get it. Like a lot of their operations in Upper Decks in California, we understand what's been going on in this state. I mean, look at PSA. I mean, it's just a disaster. So we get that there was going to be issues because they couldn't staff at regular capacity, but still, like, we're paying a lot of money. We deserve better as collectors.
So I have
that
to
exact same card. Should I be grading that one?
Dude,
if it's in good condition, I got 3 of them in very good condition, and I'm just trying to pick which one to get because they all look the same.
That is such gnarly artwork.
Yeah,
that's a great Venom. 93 is spectacular set. So and it's really hard to get because a lot of the time these packs are bricked and damaged.
We know.
If you remember us talking about that, that's where that's at. And a lot of yours that you have, you're sitting on some good cards if they're all centered right and they don't have any issues with the surface from sticking because you opened them when you were a kid, and if they're nice and clean, I mean, I would be sending a lot of those in.
Yeah, so we have in the sports, or especially basketball, we know the bricking issues with Fleer Ultra, and all that stuff. So a lot of us have gotten our hearts broken plenty of times with cards that we buy these boxes and we end up right back in this situation where
for sure
where you're like, holy crap, man. Especially now, that was like my first experience with like getting back into retro cards was buying a box of Fleer and getting so pumped to open it, only just to have to like rip half of them apart, and it was terrible.
It was always so sad, man, because guess what? It's like you open these and then each card damages the next.
Yeah,
and you're left with that residue on the other
double whammy
card
every time.
Yeah, and I think right now, if you look at it, there's a lot of sets that's going to be the ongoing issue for people trying to open it now. Like people trying to open 93 masterpieces, 94, even Fleer Ultra Spider-Man or X-Men. A lot of the way these cards were made, they damage, So like if the boxes weren't kept really well, like the stacking or anything, all that pressure and time just equals like a disaster when you open it. And that's why I always am like, be very careful and very wary. A lot of people are better off looking for the characters they want, getting singles or buying sets off people that really maintained their stuff. And don't be afraid to ask people on sales posts for more pictures. If they took limited amount, like ask for more. If you want a good quality card that you're hoping to grade and maintain for your PC, you deserve to get what you pay for, you know? So
sure.
like I always recommend, like, hey, you don't have to go with the pack route. I mean, I maybe name Marvelous Packs. I think boxes are ridiculously expensive,
right?
Even in Marvel now. So I think the best way to go about it is to sometimes like decide, look at the different sets that are out there and see what you like. And then from there, kind of go after what catches your eye. Because at the end, it's art, it's subjective, and there's going to be thousands of other people that like the same stuff you do, believe me. But yeah, like go after the stuff you want. And like, and that's why I said to Omar, hey man, I wouldn't have graded that Gambit, but
exactly
for other people, that's the Rainbow Gambit. They want to get that one, and they want to get it signed, pack pulled by Jim Lee, the rare Gambit of that. So
it was
for some people, that's
when I first kind of jumped back into this, and I think we talked about it originally when we were just kind of DMing back and forth on Instagram. I was like, oh man, I love Gambit. And you were like, oh dude, like you have no idea like the trouble that you're in. And I was like, really? Gambit?
I
would have never thought that it was gonna be that way.
Well,
he has a cult following. He has a big cult following in America.
Well,
people love Gambit.
Let me get a shout out to Spidey G09. He's actually on here too, an infinite collector. Our buddy Izzy too. He's on here too.
Hey guys,
I know I was talking to Spidey once, and Gambit just in general. I mean, he has gained so much ground with this Marvel Metal set. It's unbelievable how much more popular he is now with it. And so he's going to be one of the top coming out of this Marvel Metal.
The top 10.
When we see him, it's big. So
Rona says, I'm so screwed going for Gambit.
Well, just to let
that's
you
his
know,
guy too.
Just to let you know, you're one of the first sports guys that likes Gambit that I know.
Really?
But I know probably 5 or 6 different guys that are chasing Gambits that are in our community.
Nice. So I'm screwed either way.
I like his partner. I like her. I like Rogue.
Rogue was a good one too.
I'm into Rogue.
Yeah,
I'm into her. And these are some of the cards I'm going to submit.
Yeah, let's get into your sets and what you're going to send in.
Here's a Kang the Conqueror right here.
Crap, look at that artwork.
And this is from the Panini 80th anniversary. And this is actually the only in Brazil, I think, and in the UK that they sold these.
Panini had a license?
It's pretty. Panini here and there had a couple sets. This is the most recent one from 2020 where they did it internationally. Somehow they could get away with that. And look at this Venom. You're going to be like, whoa.
Oh, dude, that's insane.
So I've got 2 of those that I want to submit, at least one, because I know a buddy of mine wants to trade because he has a bunch of 80th as well. But yeah, I have 2 of those. And here's a Spidey. I love the way the way the artist does the mask and stuff. And this is comic art, believe it or not, some of this, but it's still really good.
That old Black Panther.
T'Challa.
I got mine right here. That's the Black Panther.
Oh, that's the one. That's the one, bro. That's like one of the best ones. I think it catches everyone's eyes.
This one is so dope, man.
Such a good one by the Hildebrands. Yeah, 1994 masterpiece.
Yep.
So good. The gold Sig one too is highly sought after.
Yep, I saw that one.
You get like one. Yeah, and then this is what they were talking about, the acetate from the new set.
Oh, nice.
So that's Emma Frost.
Emma Frost.
She was in X-Men First Class. If anybody saw that one.
Yep.
You know, she's a pretty powerful mutant from the Hellfire Club. You got an achievement of masterpieces. So this rainbows, you can see it kind of rainbows in the
Oh,
light.
nice. Yep.
So this is by Dave Palumbo, Iron Man from 2020. It's not numbered because it's an achievement card, but I do want to slab it because I think it looks so cool.
And that's another thick one too, right? That's like a 55 pointer as well, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's gnarly.
Definitely a thick one of the thick boys. Here we go. Wolverine from the Fox Kids. This one might have a little edging that I noticed just now, so I'm still thinking about it, but I just think the artwork on this Wolverine is just so dope.
That's dope. That's a good
And believe it or not, a Fox Kids card that I might want to grade. That's crazy, huh? Go figure.
Well,
this is another achievement card.
Not as crazy as people wanting to grade the LeBron James SI Kids card, you know?
Dude, if people can grade Oreos, then I can grade whatever the hell I want, right? So, yeah. And then this is a Battle Spectra that I'd like to do. I just got it, and the condition was better than I thought. And with them being the thick cards, and these are actually a Battle Spectra gem, which means it's hard numbered out of 99. And it has the numbering right there.
Nice.
So, yeah, those are the not a huge sub, but I already have a sub coming back, and I'll give a little sneak peek. It's going to be a Colossus Platinum Portrait that I sent in, a Kitty Pride from 96 Masterpieces. We call the card affectionately Kitty Booty because the artist drew her physique quite beautifully. And a couple other cards, and even a Jonathan Taylor football rookie. So I don't only do Marvel. I dabble
look at you.
So yeah, I like the Colts, so I threw in a Jonathan Taylor rookie. He's having a good year. But yes,
Martin O is saying, what is it about Gambit that's attracting people?
Well,
his swagger, right? You said it. You said it, Omar. You nailed it.
Yeah, he's the James Dean of them all. Like he's just
gained a lot of traction. I mean, when he was in the was it the Origins? Yeah, the X-Men Origins, the Wolverine Origins. Sorry, the Wolverine Origins movie, back in 2006, I believe.
Yeah.
He came
Another
out.
Gambit collector.
He came out, and it was just like the little part that he had in it. It's the popularity is not really coming from that. The popularity is coming from OG collectors or collectors like yourself that loved them when he was smaller,
just
because he hasn't hit it big in the MCU. Just think of when he hits it in the big in the MCU, that'll happen, what'll happen to his cards. So yes, Gambit would be a character that would be very smart play right now for sure.
Interesting.
Dude that charges cards and throws them at people.
I mean, come on. Come on. Jesus, man.
Yeah, I apologize to Infinite Collector because he's a Gambit collector and all that stuff, and he probably doesn't want me to say that.
Yeah, you don't want
Gambit cards.
He has more competition now. He's like, oh, great, another one.
When it comes from that standpoint, you guys know, if you guys have watched my channel before, and everybody who's watching now has watched my channel before, you guys know I have a hard limit when it comes to the cards that I buy, and it usually keeps me out of the fighting for a lot of these big cards.
Hey, $100 or less rule is a good rule to live by, and you know what? That's what I try to do in Marvel cards. That's why you don't see me collecting all these Wolverines like Josh.
Dude, it's
I'm not crazy.
It's so hard. 2 or 3 years ago, it was easy to do, right? I mean, I can get some really good stuff for $100 at a time, and I could pick up boxes. I mean, I remember I was picking up boxes of 90-91 Fleer, 89-90 Fleer for like $30-$40 a box, and I was picking them up 2 or 3 boxes at a time and ripping them like crazy. And now that box is $200-$300, and it's out of my price range. I'm not messing with it, And it's really relegated me to just the retail stuff. And really just sticking to my PC stuff, which is, but it's going to suck this year because my Rockets picked up quite a few rookies, and it's going to be really hard for me to do that this year. But I'm trying to like really stay in there, but it's, and then now all of a sudden I got all this Marvel stuff that you guys keep throwing at me.
Hey, calm down. It's not like we have all these sets that come out all year long.
Because I just bought the anime of Gambit as well. With the anime series, because I saw that pop up and I was like, what the hell?
It feels like a mountain that you're gonna have to climb, but it really isn't that bad because if you think about it, we're not like sports where it's like 8 companies have basketball and they're all pushing it like mid-season, end of the year, this set, that set, all these rookies, which is the true rookie, all that. We don't have that problem, man. You just kind of save up for what you want and you just go for it. You kind of like get one box to dabble with, you have trade bait, and then you go after singles. You just kind of hunt and you have fun.
Or you're like me, you buy 2 of the card, then you have a double, and then you sell a double to justify your
pay
price
for the one you're going to keep.
The one you're going to keep.
Yeah. that seems to be the strategy for a lot of folks.
Wolverine.
Yeah, especially for a character like a Wolverine or a Spider-Man or somebody that's like, the really high popular characters. Having that double is always
now Venom.
See, if you're
Venom,
a Wolverine
Carnage.
collector, you got to collect Spider-Man too. If you're a Spider-Man collector, you got to collect Wolverine too. Now, if you like them both, you're in trouble. But but if you can let go of one, that's where you're at, So top tier characters, baby. So
yeah.
So Keelan says, I'm sitting on a mine. We just don't know if it's a gold or a silver mine.
Hey, I'm happy with however it turns out. I'm in for the ride and I'm loving it because this is one of those things like we don't know.
Those who want more information, I think we're going to be doing some more lives here because I don't think this is the end of it. So, especially with Omar.
So I'm definitely sitting on a mine for sure. We just don't know what it is yet.
Dude, you're gonna have to remember to go strong on Mother's Day. That's all I'm saying.
Oh man, we always when it comes to Mother's Day, we always go over the top, man. We always go over the top. Kenny G says, "What's up to everybody? What's up?"
How did the Vikings do today? Did they win?
I have no idea. I you know what? I had such a jam-packed day with my kids. I didn't even, and right now my Texans are an absolute dumpster fire. So we're not even.
You're not having fun with the NFL season this year.
Not at all. At all.
Mm.
I was waiting for tonight all day long.
Yeah, so
I know. I was so excited to talk shop.
Who did the Vikings? Vikings beat the Chargers. Wow.
See?
Interesting. Herbie couldn't do it this time. Very interesting.
So many people put so much into the Herbert madness. Like,
Kid
I don't
good,
see
though. Kid's pretty good.
He's good. I'm like, it's risky. It's so risky.
It's so risky. Look,
like, I don't know how you guys do it.
The thing about it is that you have to really, like, if you want to get into like a speculative game when it comes to sports cards, you really have to understand the sport, right? Because, I don't know if you got the last live stream that I did with TGT. So I talked to him pretty regularly. He rattled off some like pretty off the wall predictions. And I was like, all right, dude, like whatever, like he was like, oh yeah, Golden State's going to be number 1 in the West. And I'm like, Golden State's like, Clay's coming back after like a 2-year layoff. Like, Steph's coming back after this layoff. He got hurt. And all
they look good, bro.
Dude, they are like 11-1 or something like that, or like 13-1 or something stupid like that. And
Gary Payton II.
Where did that guy come? I mean, obviously the lineage, right? If you know anything about basketball, Gary Payton Jr. is Gary Payton's son, and Gary Payton they called him the glove because you weren't getting past him. He was on you like a glove. So yeah. Just all this stuff that's coming out is just like, it's nuts. But
dude, the Jordan documentary leveled Peyton up.
Blew everything up. Blew everything up.
Yeah.
It just went nuts after that. And it sucked too, because like that was right as I was kind of getting into it, right as I was starting to like open boxes and have fun with it, that documentary came out and just blew everything out of the water. Has there
Look
been,
at the
has there
MCU
been,
blowing up. The
okay, so
MCU
that's
is
what I was
blowing
going
up
to
as
ask
we
you.
speak.
Has there been like a singular thing in the Marvel community that blew things up the way that documentary did for basketball cards?
Spider-Man.
Oh, okay,
Spider-Man
Spider-Man.
coming out. Yeah.
So that
Spider-Man has made people go absolutely insane. Like they're
Really?
just all of a sudden the speculation on cards has entered the market. I never used to see that before where people were like, "Oh, I'm buying Moon Knights now. I'm heavy on Moon Knight and I'm heavy on like She-Hulk and I'm heavy on Miss Marvel." And yeah, because all these things are coming out and now people are realizing you got to get in early
Well,
Yeah.
so are you
and then
talking
get
about
out
this?
right on time.
Are you talking about the Marvel boom? Why that happened?
Yeah, so like for us in sports cards, there, I mean, you can like point to like certain things, right? Like, you know, like the Last Dance documentary that blew everything up. That was anything 90s, what was considered at the time junk wax. I mean, I
Plus
remember
the pandemic.
Yeah, well, the pandemic as well, right? But that was kind of more of like a across the board thing. But this,
No,
like,
but I'm saying like it happened during the pandemic when
Yeah,
no
exactly.
sports were allowed. So we only had that
because-
documentary.
That's
We had
true.
that documentary and nothing else of
That's true.
sports. Like,
Well,
and that
because-
ruined us. We all went into our closets and we started going through our shit. Like, oh my god,
Yeah.
dude! Like, holy
Because
crap!
of the
I have his rookie
pandemic,
card.
that's what we did.
Like, oh, like it got me in. I got back into memorabilia right after that documentary.
That's
I can
nuts.
trace it to that documentary.
Well,
I can
That's
and
trace
then
it.
and then the way that it happened, you know, 90 MU like Marvel cards back in January, it was just like blowing up online, and cards were selling for hundreds of dollars, and then you know $7,500, $10,000, like these cards on eBay, you know, we're going at it in February. And the reason being is because of
that
the
one
reason
was 5,000.
The
Yeah.
reason being
Ridiculous.
is because of the pandemic, but the way that we got into them was because of, I feel, rookies, like because of the sports and stuff like that. It's like, okay, sports cards are looking at some of these Marvel cards and all that stuff going for these outrageous prices that were great in cards.
Josh,
And it's
I disagree.
the pop
Josh.
counts. The pop counts.
I disagree.
What happened?
I gotta disagree, bro. I think it had to do with
how did that
death.
happen then?
It had to do with their deaths.
Whose
T'Challa,
deaths?
Black Panther, the actor, passed away, and Stan Lee passed away. And when they did,
Those
it
went through the
really
roof.
it blew them up. Those cards blew up.
If you
big
look
time,
at if you
man.
look at the sale of this one when it did that $5,000,
There's just too many factors.
yeah, it was
There's a
shortly
lot.
after Chad Boseman passed away. I think he was like battling cancer for like a long time. Nobody really knew, and all of a sudden
Nobody
he
knew.
passed away like very abruptly out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
then that's where people were looking back to their stuff and they're like, okay,
Yep.
what's worth money now? Oh, let's
Right.
look
You're
at
right.
rookie cards. That's what I meant by that.
True. No, all the factors.
Yeah,
The factors.
take
added up.
Kobe.
Synergistic.
Kobe's death was another big one as well, right? And
Huge.
you know
Correct.
that was skyrocket. Sent his cards skyrocketing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, holy crap! Like and I've said this before on the channel. I was never a really huge Kobe fan, right? But I understood his importance, you know, to the game. And so when he passed away, I mean, I was just watching luckily for me, I already had like some stuff from way back when. But
Kobe had respect for your team, bro.
Oh,
He went ahead and he was like, bro, I need to get that man Ron Artest on my get him off the Rockets. Like that is, I cannot have him guarding me another 7-game series. I want that man on my team. He's a maniac. So I remember how crazy our heated battles are with your team. So I understand your respect has to be there because it's like a love-hate thing. But now that he's gone, it's more love. Everybody's come out and they've shown the love.
Yeah.
With what's happening right now, it's been like a roller coaster, like a steamroller going through because it's one thing after another. Just like, you know, Keith said, like with Disney Disney Plus coming out and all these movies and coming out,
Yeah.
it's just blowing some of this memorabilia and trading card stuff up, like blowing it up so much that's like people are like now sometimes people are just understanding that hey, there's actually Marvel cards or
Yeah.
or you
Did you watch
had
that,
your
Omar?
channel.
Did I watch what?
The Disney Plus Day special
No,
where they
I
showed all
didn't.
the
I'm actually
previews?
I'm googling it now. I'm trying to figure out what this is.
So yeah, basically that 5 minutes just made all of us collective Marvel people, we all lost it. We were like, oh my God, they didn't speak. It was just a trailer of what we've been experiencing during the pandemic with their series to what's going to come up. And it was epic, bro. Like it gives you these teasers that you're like, oh my
Really?
God, thank God. Like I am in the Marvel hobby. It reminded you of like, oh my God,
Yeah.
this is going to get even
This
crazier
is
than
gonna
it
get
was
nuts.
before.
And we talked about this the other day too, right? Because we're saying, you know,
Just the
there's
surface,
no
baby.
there's
Just
really
the
no
surface.
like floor to this, right? There's no like Spider-Man's not gonna pull tear an ACL and then all of a sudden his cards is gonna go down in value. Like
yeah.
Pikachu's not gonna get hurt is one of the famous things that I like that Gary Vee said a while back. Pikachu's not gonna sprain an ankle, so
Correct.
and these movies that keep coming out, there's so much nostalgia at play. There's so much of this new generation of kids, like you mentioned, Marvelous, is like they are so spoiled to all this stuff that they're getting now, and it's just it's gonna make an entire new crop of collectors and people once they figure out what's out there. It's gonna get nuts.
Yeah,
Well, like,
dude, totally agree. Totally
yeah,
100% agree because
anything that's
yeah.
there, like Shang-Chi and the Black Widow. Black Widow's always been a pretty strong character with the Marvel stuff, but
Yeah.
with Black Widow coming out, I mean, that's just gonna make more people go after her, not just all the Marvel collectors that have been already going after. So
Yeah.
there's so many characters that are blowing up, just like Moon Knight's coming up and all that stuff with his TV series / movie stuff that's coming out later on, and that's going to blow up Moon Knight. And comics, you'd have to say that comics are kind of in line also in helping some of these cards too. Because comic prices have gone skyrocketed as well. And so with that being said, with the Stan Lee death and all that stuff, all these comics are actually just complementing some of the things that are happening with Disney Plus, making all of these trading card collectibles more valued. And a lot of collectors don't like it because they're used to picking up cards $1-2 a piece because they're trying to fit in their collection, and now they're having to pay $10 to $50 a card, and they're just like, what is going on? And they don't like it, and some of them are leaving. Some of the OG collectors out, but it's
so
just what's
how receptive, like you guys that are like in Facebook groups and stuff like that. I know my brother, when he first got into collecting the Star Wars collector, the cards and stuff like that, he was in a couple of Facebook groups for strictly collecting Star Wars trading cards, and he was telling me how brutal some of these guys are whenever a new member would come in and start talking about the value of a card. And they were like, get out of here, you're just a flipper, you're like one of these new guys that's coming in, like, what are you looking for, the Luke rookie card? Like, get the hell out of here.
You bring up a valid point in the fact that some of us collectors don't go to some of the Facebook groups as often as before, because that's what's going on right now is people are getting all this popularity of these cards, and then people that don't know join these groups and say, hey, here's all these cards. I'm way new to this. How much are these worth right now?
Yeah.
And then you get people on the Facebook groups that are hating and all that stuff, which is probably not the right thing to do when you're accepting someone new into. And that's why some of us collectors choose not to go much on the Facebook groups. I mean, we go I used to be on there like probably 24/7. Now I'm only checking it maybe once or twice a day for just different cards or just here and
Right.
there, because I do respect some of the creators that have created some of these Facebook groups
Mhm.
and what the effort and the time that they put into it in helping the community as a whole. But there are some collectors out there that are pretty harsh. That's for sure.
It's gonna happen. I mean,
Yeah.
anytime you get anything that has a certain level of popularity, and it makes that transition from like a kind of like a niche underground thing, and then it hits a certain level of like pop culture, like it's a wrap. You know, like it's not gonna. There's gonna come a point to where it's gonna excel to a level where you won't be able to keep those guys out, right? And
Yeah.
you know, they're gonna just immediately run to eBay and start running up all the prices on the
Yeah.
cards, and there's nothing you can do about it, right? So the question is,
Correct.
you know, how do you want to receive those guys in, and what do you want to do about what they're doing to what was at first a niche hobby, but now it's this big massive thing.
See, and that's why I do content and Marvel content, and that's why Marvelous Packs does content, because we want to accept these new collectors and new guys in, you know, if they're serious about collecting and all that stuff. If they come in and they're flippers and all that stuff, I mean, they choose to be flippers, I guess. But
Right.
Anybody who shows interest, that's what we're trying to do is share the love and share this hobby with everybody. And that's why we wanted to do this with you, man, Retro, is because we want all the sports guys to know that we welcome every one of you guys if you want to come and check us out and everything like that. And we're interested in some of the stuff that's happening with sports because we're now grading a lot of our cards.
Yeah,
we're more than just PMGs and EMU.
Yeah, we are. We are.
And so, how much? So we'll kind of wrap up with this because I want to be respectful of you guys' time. But one of the things that you touched on, and I think it was Marvelous that said it, was that you guys are just like the hobby of collecting Marvel cards itself is just now getting into this idea of grading cards, right? And you know getting cards slabbed up, and when that happened, how much of what was being talked about was it where PSA is the end all be all, and then how much like resistance have you guys, especially you, Marvelous, because I know you go SGC, how much within the Marvel community, how much of that resistance was there whenever you were like, no, dude, SGC is where it's at? Because I know you're pretty heavy. I know from my standpoint, when I drew that line in the sand, like maybe like 6 months ago, where I was like, PSA sucks, SGC is the best. The amount of hate that I got was ridiculous, right? And did you see the same kind of thing from a Marvel standpoint, or was it really like, hey, none of us know anything about grading here, so you know, whatever, let's try? Is it more open to like trying some of these other companies that aren't PSA?
I think there's now a more mix. But before, when I was first starting with SGC, man, there were people probably laughing at me and talking about me behind my back, and some laughing at me, like saying like, hey, man, like that's great that you're doing that, but like that ain't worth anything. Like PSA is the only thing, and that's the only thing I'm going to deal with because of the ROI. And for me, I'm like, doesn't really make sense. Like I did my research, and it just didn't really add up to me that a company that has decades of experience grading vintage and modern, and actually has the record for the highest selling vintage card, would be a bad option. And then I stumbled upon your content, and I'm like, okay, I'm not alone out there.
Yeah,
like
I was gonna say,
being Marvel, I'm on an island. Being Marvel, like, I'm sorry, there's just not a lot of other SGC graders I had access to in Marvel. But and then in the sports world, it was catching on. So I was like, okay, not alone. That's good. And then I was on vacation this summer, and this dude, he's a friend of mine now, Brian, Marvel Cards Up. Shout out to Marvel Cards Up. He on Instagram, he goes on a live and does a reveal of SGC, all red PMGs, all of different characters. It was one of the sickest lives I've ever seen. This dude subbed it all SGC. And ever since then, I was like, I'm going to find this guy. I'm going to get in touch with him. and now we're starting a movement. And all of a sudden, I was finding more and more awesome people. Mr. Prism, Neil,
Mr.
Bill,
Prism,
Watch
dope.
Me Open, who I mentioned before. A lot of guys started being like, yeah, like the art looks great. It presents well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it doesn't take, it really is just about kind of like showing it to the people to let them know, hey, there's a lot of going for trying something different.
Yeah.
And I think when you're on your own and you're trying to dance on your own and the DJ's got the music going, it's pretty hard to get
You look
people
silly
in
for a little
dancing with
bit.
you.
Yeah.
But when you have someone else that gets in on it with you,
Yeah.
all of a sudden it looks like everybody sees that they're having a blast.
Yeah.
And that's
I
what they
want
were
in
saying.
on
They're
that.
like, damn, these two guys are having a blast grading SGC. More people started to jump in,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden we've got a little dance crew going. So
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm proud of what's going on in the hobby, because I think there's room for a lot of companies. I think there's room for HGA. I think there's room for BGS and PSA when they reopen and
Right.
can be fair for Marvel prices, because
Right.
guess what? A lot of Marvel cards are not worth PMG levels
Right.
and would not be worth grading at $150 fee.
Yeah.
And I'm like all for seeing how things go when everything is at an equal level playing
Right.
field. But the reality is we're
Right
at
now
where we're
it's not.
at.
Yeah.
And I'm with SGC, and I'm riding hard with them because my art looks fucking spectacular in them.
Exactly.
And I think it's a quality slab. PSA, I've held a lot of them, and they're thin. So it's really not for me. Like, I
Yeah.
want something sturdier. And
Ju-
yeah, like I feel like they're the consistent grader. So
So just to add to that,
people oh, go ahead.
no, you're good. Just to add to what you said, though, Marvelous, it all kind of, for me, it actually started with Retro's channel. I'll be honest, because he was doing a lot of the reports. Omar, you were doing a lot of reports for the PSA, and I was like totally interested in all that stuff because I sent my cards PSA. So, I mean, I was probably following your channel since April, maybe May.
Earlier this year. Yeah.
Probably in April when you were talking about this stuff, and you were just coming up with so much detail in your reports, and I'm like, man, this guy,
The data.
he must
Can't argue
do
with
all
numbers
this
and data.
Yeah, it's
Can't.
like all this data that he's getting and all this stuff, and it's not like you were disrespecting PSA at all. You were just trying to get the right information and the
Right.
correct information and giving it to us.
Yeah.
And so when I saw you like starting to grade with SGC and all this stuff, and then you were kind of making points on SGC prices versus PSA, you were doing HGA versus PSA, and you were doing all of them. And I was like sucking up that content, just like not really saying anything to anybody. I don't think I even mentioned a Marvelous Packs about SGC until probably 2 or 3 discussions into it. And then he finally realized I had a graded SGC Deadpool card. Like that was a 9.5. And then he's all like, hey, you have an SGC. And so that's when we started talking. I wasn't against SGC at all, but I do know at value standpoint, and that's what I was trying to go at.
Right.
I was going to flip all my cards because I wanted to sell all the cards that I submitted. None of them are like really PC cards.
Right.
They're all my 90 MU or insert cards that were doubles of mine. And so when I sent them all that, back in March, I was thinking of flipping them all. But now when I get most of those back, I don't know how many of those I'm going to sell because I'm just in love with all of these cards. And now grading, I look at way differently.
Right.
With SGC, I'm going to be sending all these and I'll probably sell most of them. But some of them, if they come back 10s, I don't want to give up if they come back at 10,
Exactly.
And that's the hard thing to do. But I totally see the play now with that. Am I going to send my PMGs into grade with SGC because I only have a few of them? Probably not. I'll probably send them in PSA only because of the standpoint of they're not characters I want to keep. I want to sell them, but I do believe in your channel there, Retro, when you were proving really to us in the past weeks that what do? Do you pay $150, $100 to PSA for a card and then get it back a 9 and then be able to not even get your money back?
Or worst
Versus you
case,
send to SGC, you get a 9.5, you only spent $35 and
Right.
you get like $50 profit or something
Right.
on the card, you know? And so I totally see
yeah.
a play in SGC, and I'm not against their slabs. I
Yeah.
actually like their slabs.
I think for Marvel cards, especially because I've talked about this before, where you know, a lot of my logic when it comes to why I like SGC so much, forget about the customer service, forget about the quality grading and the accurate, consistent grading and the great turnaround times, which are all huge points. I always like to think about it in terms of the slabs being the frame for the artwork, and how the tuxedo just really does that for sports cards. But if we're looking at it, sports cards are, I mean, not all of them are artwork. Some of them are just pictures and things like that, like photography and stuff like that. These Marvel cards are legitimate artwork. Like these, you know, we talked about how, you know, some of these are unique just to that set. You're not going to see that artwork anywhere else. And forget about the sketch cards being actual pieces of art, that I just feel that SGC, the slabs that SGC makes, just complements all of that. I mean, I showed you guys that picture of that Phoenix from the 93 or 92 Marvel set. That fire up against a black border and a monochrome a label, it just ain't get no better than that, you know?
So I'll be honest, right? My PC stuff, like I will go as far as probably making my own custom freaking slab for my PC. I don't even care. And I would want someone to grade it that I trust. And I would love for one of the people that I've met, you know, I'm not going to throw her name out there, but she has done a lot of help for grading for people with Marvel cards. Well, let me just shout out her name, Graded Gamer. She's been a great help with some of the new people into grading with these Marvel cards. She's graded them for the last, seems like a year and a half or so that she's sent them in, maybe 2 years. I don't know how long she's been doing it, but just her alone, just her knowledge and everything. I would love for her to say, okay, that's a 10 or that's a 9. And then I would just have her basically put what she would recommend, and I would custom slab it. I've seen custom slabs that are holographic on some of the hologram cards, and they look amazing. Like that's why I liked HGA, those videos that you were doing on HGA, and then the HGA slab was falling apart. I didn't like those videos, but it's just there's companies out there. I don't know why that PSA is so king. Like, why is PSA king? Well, it's just king because we said it was a while back. I mean, before it was BGS was king a long time ago. You know, before
it's all subjective.
PSA.
It's all subjective. It's all about what you're looking for. And
so I'm with this movement of SGC. Let's go movement of SGC right now and blow things out of the water.
Yeah, and I'm just happy to see people grading with Marvel in general. Like I love watching grading reveals, and that's how I think I stumbled upon your channel as well. And just to put up my last 2 cents, I think the art looks great, and I can't wait to see your Gambit retro with that fire coming in the background and shooting the card on it. Oh man, and that one, dude.
I'm legit thinking about throwing this in the mix just because of the artwork, right?
Yeah,
it's insane.
The contrast with the black background, it's so good. It's just so good, and it looks great.
I just with the haters out there and all that stuff, and doing that, I just say, you know, let collectors grade with who they want.
Right.
Don't diss people. Just be positive about this hobby, and everybody will be happy. I mean, that's where it's at. I mean, if as long as you're positive. And that's why I've always loved your channel. You're always positive and you always say the facts, you know.
I just don't like when people shit on other people for doing things that make them happy.
Yeah.
Like, why would you, I don't know. I think I've talked about it before where I've seen people were like, why'd you grade that card? That was a waste of money. It's like,
yeah.
really? Like, why would you think about that and then type that out? Like, did you at no point in that process go, this is probably a really shitty thing to say to somebody?
I was actually at work
Ridiculous, man.
when you were doing that live video, or I was watching it, and I was like just like working on some radios and stuff, so that's what I do. And then I was just listening to you, and I was just like, dude, he hit it on the head. I'm like, why is
crazy,
that guy even saying stuff on his live? Get off this live then. Freaking A.
Branding is a thing that is just a reality, and
It
we've
is.
gotten used to saying, oh, PSA, it could PSA this and PSA that. And like, it's like when you ask for a Kleenex or a Q-tip instead of an ear swab or a tissue. And it's like people have gotten this branding thing stuck in their head. So I think as it starts to more and more new sets come out in sports and in non-sport alike, you're going to all see that the grading options are going to be different, and you're going to see more different market share out there at sports shows. Absolutely. You're going to see card shows that have all sorts of rainbow slabs. So there's going to be room for plenty.
It'll be interesting.
I like RC Cola and Pepsi, so fuck it. If there ain't no Coke, I'll buy the other stuff. I don't have to have like the brand name all the time. I buy the generic stuff all the time.
Oh, I'm the same way. Well, look, guys.
Go ahead and close this off, Omar.
Yeah, we're coming up on like the 2.5, which is kind of the sweet spot for me. I think you can get a lot talked about in the 2-hour, 2.5 hour thing. But man, I can't thank you guys enough for jumping on, not only now, but the conversation that we had last week was awesome. Getting an opportunity for me to like pull this stuff out and actually talk to folks that know about it, much like I know about my sports cards. I'm always, I always tell people the best way to learn about something is to just dive in. I mean, like, I don't know nothing about this stuff. And so to have you guys actually like go through and go and like, I get excited to see you guys when y'all saw something. You're like, wait, go back. That one right there. Pull that out, put that in the, and I had no clue, right? Like, I didn't know what I was looking at. And then you guys were like, no, but that's an important card because of this, that, and the other. That's the kind of stuff that I think that, the more that we can spread about, not just Marvel, but, sports cards in general, or just the hobby in general, it's going to be good for everybody, because this is the kind of content that anybody can search for and pull it up and all of a sudden get educated as well. So, I know you guys have families and stuff like that. So I can't tell you how much I appreciate y'all taking the time out of your day. I know it's pretty late and stuff like that, but this is the kind of stuff that's going to be out there for people to search for and actually get some education on. So thank
reach
you
out.
very much for that.
You got questions?
So much.
Yeah.
So
If you have questions, reach out to any of us. Josh, myself.
Everybody knows exactly where. I want to make sure everybody knows exactly where to go to find the both of you. So Marvelous, you're, and I'm going to link all of this in the description once it loads up to YouTube. But give me your Instagram where people can reach out to you at.
At Marvelous_Packs, and in YouTube I'm Marvelous Packs, the way it is written there. And go ahead and Instagram me, follow me. You can ask me any questions you guys have. I'll get back to you as soon as I can, and I'm definitely down to help, because for me, I'm all about like getting new people in is what I love. Like seeing new collectors get excited about Marvel. So reach out.
Awesome. Marvelous Madness, where are you on Instagram, and where can they reach you on YouTube or email or any other way to contact you?
Yeah, so just the same name that you see below here. Wait, right here, sorry. Marvel Madness MCU on Instagram, and Marvel Madness MCU on YouTube. Pretty easy to find me. Just a kind of a quick shout out to all of our content creators out there. Spidey G09, Watch Me Open, Marvel's Cards Up, Sketch Card Hive, everybody out there that creates content, Infinite Collector. We just love you, and we want to keep on doing what we're doing. And thanks, Omar, for having us on, and we hope this isn't the end. We hope this is just the beginning.
Absolutely not, because we have to go down this e-packs rabbit hole. We're literally
Part
gonna do
two.
one. Yeah, we're just
Yeah,
gonna do.
part
It's not even gonna
two.
be a part two. We're just gonna go. It's gonna be called the EPAX, 101, because that is still something that is like mind blowing to me. But okay, we'll go ahead and close it out again. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who's watching us or who watched and who liked and commented and all that stuff. Big shout out to Ronus. I'm assuming that's one of your guys' followers who's just been super active in the
Keith.
chat. Keenan is still in the
Thanks,
chat.
Keith.
That's an OG.
Appreciate it. Shout out to Keith too.
Yeah, Keelan is in here. He's been an OG on the channel for a while. So thank you guys so much for tuning in and for watching. I'm pretty sure. I think the majority of the views we're gonna see a lot of them come in tomorrow morning as people get settled in. But again, thank you to the two of you, man. I appreciate it. I'll probably get another one booked in with you guys. I kind of want to do the next one with you guys whenever we do the reveals, because I'm gonna probably send these out sometime this week, and then and we'll schedule something else. But we'll go ahead and end it here. I appreciate you guys for hanging out. I'm gonna kick you guys out, and I'm gonna do the intro or the outro, I guess. So
Outro.
Thank you guys. We'll talk soon. We're always on DM, so we'll catch up during the week sometime.
All right. Take care,
Thanks,
guys.
guys.
See you guys.
All right, let's see how we do this here and then do that there. All right, so we're going to close this thing out. Thank you again to everybody who joined the live stream. We appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching. This was an interesting one. I always like doing stuff like this because it's so fun, because it's new stuff. It's oddball stuff. It's things that I just like doing different things, and I like trying to throw out different stuff. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. If y'all did, hit the like button on the way out, or if you're watching this the day after, or if you're catching up, hit the like button, leave me a comment, let me know what you guys think. If you guys want to see more of this stuff, obviously I have 2 subject matter experts that I can call on at any given time. But I'm gonna go ahead and sign out. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate y'all. Remember, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check me out on Instagram at Retro Hoop Breaks. Check me out on the Facebook group, which will be linked down below, and all that good stuff. All right. So as always, I love y'all. Peace.